Allow me to introduce myself. Who knows what dastardly crime might perpetrate next?
He's a very clever arch criminal who must be put away. Another innocent victim
I
of
don't
the
know.
suicidal maniac.
What you want? I don't know. 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 But I'm so in love with you, baby.
All right. Hey, peace, love, unity to the best of our ability. This is your brother Garfield. Brother Garfield podcast, Dagger Squad in the building. I am extremely sick, but I had to do a show today because Baaba Heru, ladies and gentlemen, Baaba Heru has passed. And I always say this, man. I had several conversations with Baaba Heru on the phone, and he always left the conversation with a positive vibes. I don't know how he felt about me internally, but he never gave me personally. When he had to straighten me out, he straightened me out over the phone. And shout out to Baaba Heru. And I want to say to his family, this is a tough time. My condolences go out to them. Baaba Heru, who has brought ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, if I may, to the light of the world in the West. He's one of the pioneers. You talk about Asara Set Society in the 70s. You talk about Baaba Heru in the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s. The guy was a living legend, man. And we got to acknowledge our greatness. You know what's crazy? What I'm saying now, I should have said this 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, but we always wait until someone is passed to say all these great things about them. Baaba Heru was trying to bring a livelihood. If you think about it, family, the old kingdom coming into the new kingdom, Egypt was a dominant force in the ancient Near East. He's trying to align us as African Americans, our black folks in the West, with greatness, to align us with a worship and a tradition that was great. That's all he was doing. He ain't trying to say, well, we know what he said, but what I took from what he did. And I want to say, Baaba Heru, you will always, all the wisdom you dropped to me while we were on the phone, I will say to you, I will follow up and I will live true to your words where you said to me, Brother Garfield, you know, you know how he sounds when he talks. Brother Garfield, my brother Garfield. Yeah, man, Baaba Heru. And I actually was going to buy some jewelry from him soon, but you know what? It is what it is. A blessed Sunday morning. I haven't even promoted the show. Let me send out a few little texts to let people know that I'm live. And if you can, you could share the show in the groups. I'm going to play a bunch of videos because my throat not feeling the well. And plus, I slept so bad, my neck. Ah, man. My neck is killing me. But I'm going to let y'all know, man. You know, for years, right? You know what my weakest position was. I'm going to give a shout out to my brother right here. West African DNA, my big bro right here. One of my weakest studies is West and Central Africa. That's my weakest area. Brother Law, thank you for if you could, you know what, if you could come on the panel for 2 minutes, I would appreciate your presence if possible, because I do need to get your number and I do need to ask you something about Arabic. that I never realized until recently. So I need your help if you can. All right. So family, here what me I say to now. Stretch out. Yeah, man. Rest up. You didn't get any notification. I don't know why. I don't know if it automatically blocked you. I'm just kidding, Mika. Shout out to Mika, by the way, man. She keeps me in check, man. When I'm wrong, she said, G, you're wrong. When I'm right, she points out I'm right. And when I need to get checked, I get checked. My ego gets checked at the door all the time. All right. Today, we're going to talk about a lot of things. But I want to say something, though, what I've been studying a lot lately. There's a brother by the name of Orthodox Moore. I never got to respond to his stuff on Bereen, and he probably thinks I don't have a response to him. But one of my weaknesses in my studies is I will gloss over things and not read the primary sources. And with Arabic, because I went to, I was learning Hebrew a little bit, I could actually break down the Hebrew by using the tools that my teacher gave me. But with Arabic, I don't have a clue to Arabic. I don't have a clue. And I'm going to show you something that I found out recently. And I'm going to show my brother Law while he's actually hold on, where is this at? All right, here we go. The word for, I found out recently that in the Arabic corpuses, Brother Law, first of all, peace and love to you. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Shalom. How you doing, brother?
Wa alaikum salam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm doing well, brother. Just
All
sitting
right.
back. Like my food died, just had a good breakfast, so I'm just sitting back watching the show.
All right. Now, in the conversations about Jews or Hebrews or Israelites in West Africa, I notice a lot of people like to use what's called the Arabic corpus. Actually, it's upstairs in my bedroom. I was actually reading it this morning. In the Arabic corpus, there's two references. There's a couple references to Jews in the Arabic corpus in North Africa, and there's a supposed reference in West Africa. But what I observed, Brother Law, is that the people who put the corpus together kept saying there's no reference to Jews in sub-Saharan Africa, although the corpus is literally saying it. And I'm confused. So I said, let me do a little investigation, because Raw Born and Truth Storing has been imploring me, let me use that a nice word, imploring me to read the sources myself. So over the last 2 years, I've been studying West and Central African history a lot. And this is why I didn't respond to Orthodox more yet, because I wanted to read the primary sources of everything so I could get a gist of what I'm reading. And I think that's proper, because you try to get to the primary as much as possible. What I realized is that the people who put the Arabic corpus together is saying there's no sub-Saharan reference to a Jewish community. And I'm like, saying to myself, Brother Law, like, how are they writing this? But in the translations of what they put out, you see the term Jews there. So it puts the person like me now who don't read Arabic, or I don't know if Orthodox more read Arabic, or Rawbon or Truth Story, or whoever reads the sources. You're saying, oh, it does say Jews were there. Hold on, let me just tell my son I'm live. Hey, Pops, I'm live, all right? So when I'm finished, I'll call you back, okay?
Okay.
All right. Yeah, because he going to call me back to back till he get his father, boy. All right.
Mashallah.
All right. So now, Brother Law picture does look like Rashid Wallace. Yes, you're right, Dominic Doulas. That's a good no, that's a good observation. Brother Law does look a little bit like Rashid Wallace, with his face a little bit more puffy. But anyway, so now I'm looking at the Arabic for Yahud and looking at the Arabic for Al Sudan, and I could see how the copyists could have made an error and substitute Sudan, which means blacks, or the blacks, Al Sudan, for Al Yahud, which means the Jews. I can literally see it with my eyes in the Arabic, but I don't speak Arabic. and I've never tried to read Arabic in my life. So now I'm gonna reach out to you.
The problem, I'm gonna explain it to you this way.
Okay.
Because I actually have these conversations all the time with brothers, more so with brothers like Morpheus and a couple other brothers. We have these conversations in these dialogues.
Mm-hmm.
What people don't understand is there's a critical difference between reading Arabia Fusha, which would be Quranic Arabic, and the actual language itself.
Good point.
That's the key. That's the difference.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit you up. I'm gonna get your number. Or send it to Morpheus. We connect somehow. If not today,
Reggie as well.
Oh, Reggie too.
I mean, yeah, you can send it to Reggie too. I mean, the last time that I actually missed Reggie when I was uptown. He explained to me that you guys were heading over towards the Met Museum, and I would have loved to put up to the Met with you guys. But hopefully one day, inshallah, God willing, I would look forward definitely to all of us can go to the Met Museum, and I can probably walk through the Islamic section and show you a couple of things and show you what it says, me, you, or Saw, whomever. I definitely look forward to that. I'm always going to be a sponge for knowledge, whether it be from the Hebrew Israelite standpoint or even with Islam.
And for those who don't know what we're talking about I think it's Idrisi. He talks about the Jews of Lamna.
Yes.
We're not saying this because we don't like Hebrew Israelites and we want to bash them. We want to get to the root of why you believe what you believe. Now,
personally, I can't speak. I'm sorry for breaking your train of thought, brother. I apologize. But for myself, the way I look at it is this. I just want them to show forth their existence before Cherry.
Okay. You know what? And that might be a very broad question that can be answered because there is a book by a brother at a Southern California University that came on my channel 4 or 5 times. Dr. What is his name? Oh man, I forgot his name right now.
I actually have a pen and paper in my hand right now. I'm writing down exactly what you about to say.
I could get to the source right now. You know, I got sources for days.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Bruce James. That's his name. Bruce Haynes. Haynes. My bad. Bruce Haynes wrote about the whole Jewish community. So when you say Hebrew Israelism or Israelites, remember there's a group of Hebrews that live that can prove their existence within the culture of African Americans. His book is called The Soul of Judaism. If you want me to email it to you, we'll hook up and I'll email it to you. And in his book, he lays out how African Americans have a root in Judaism based on the fact that some of them that were brought over as slaves converted to Judaism under their master and was given manumission based off of Judaism. And they were converted. They were buried in Curacao, Suriname. This is stuff that Truth Story has been teaching for 10 years. So those Jews have a claim to the identity and they are African Americans. That's the route. If I was going to make a claim, I would go. Because in Jamaica, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of people with a Star of David on their chest who are black, that look just like me and you, quote unquote black, and they grew up, got Judaism through that way. You understand? So I'm saying when you say like, can you show it before Cherry? We can show it before Cherry, but the issue is like for example, Billy Simons. Billy Simons is before Cherry. He's from 1820s. You know what I'm saying? But Billy Simons got it. It's kind of like a question sign, but there's a lot of things with Billy Simons. He was in the synagogue, and they said he was a loyal guy. He dressed up and everything. He was a delivery guy for a newspaper. So he's following Judaism before Cherry. So it depends on the sect that you're talking about. If you're saying Cherry, because remember, Cherry was a Christian. So when you say Cherry, Nat Turner and them could appeal, or even, well, Harriet Tubman is after Cherry, but not Denmark VC them. They use different wordings to show like a Israelite tradition and attach themselves to it. So it exists before Cherry, but I think what we're looking for is not Judaism. are looking for more of a one Westism. One Westism is 1969, not before that. Before Cherry is a Christian, so any Christian could claim an Israelite identity and not follow it because he had pork and did all that type of stuff.
Indeed.
But so when we said Cherry, we got to be careful.
West,
They fall under Christian.
Yes.
Yeah, one Westism is what we're looking for. There's nobody following one Westism. There's nobody following Judaism per se as a black person of African descent. It could go back because remember in the Senegal coast where they were, the people in Senegal were taking on African traditions and Africans were taking on Judaistic traditions. So it's kind of broad. So we just need to be specific of which specific group we're looking for. But Judaism, some sort of Judaism was practiced by Jews who went into West and Central Africa. That is clear as day. That's where I could give you the date. I could give you the house that they worshipped in. I could give you names. We have that information based off of Peter Mark's work in the two communities in Senegal. So we have dozens of Jews that we find. We don't find a lot of Jews in West and Central Africa. Now, later on, after 1492, you might see some people saying, "Hey, I'm Jewish," or come with their traditions and so forth. But you're not gonna find a lot of stuff there. Go ahead, brother Law, respond if you want, and then Akani, you could come on in, my brother.
No, brother, I'm basically done. I just needed that information in regards to the book, so that way I can pull that out. But I actually put the number. I'll actually get the number over to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess whenever you're ready, like I said, inshallah.
All right.
You can definitely.
Definitely. I think the Hebrew position, I think Akani, is this Akani that me and him be going back and forth about Akani all the time? Is that you, brother?
Yeah, it's me, man. It's me, man. Peace.
Let me ask you a flat out question. Do you believe the Akan stories 100%?
It's like as the days goes by and the more I learn.
Listen.
100.
Simple question. 100%. All right.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. What is the oldest written tradition you have of the Akan?
That would go back to the Tariq al-Fatash.
Tariq al-Fatash. Can you tell the people when the Tariq al-Fatash was written?
Roughly in late 1400s, early 15. But then you've got add-on bits to it, so people that's finishing off the works. So, but it began in the late 1400s. So
the Tariq al-Fatash in the 1400s. All right.
Yeah.
Which manuscript are you referring to, by the way? Manuscript.
No, there's manuscript A, B, and C. I'm not referring to the one where he made the prophecy of the Mahdi or one of the Askia Muhammad that's meant to be the Mahdi. I'm not. I don't know if it's within that document. I'm not too sure, but it's got a genealogy within the Tariq al-Fatash, which links to this, which links to that, which goes back to the Akans. And the Akans, we bear the story of the four wives of the Magan of ancient Ghana Empire, Dinga. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Now, Tariq al-Fatash, manuscript C, you know the history of that, right?
If it's the one where they're they still use it though. So even though they say it's an add-on or it's been it's a fake document, the scholars are saying that even though it's fake, it's still valuable because of the information in it. So what they're saying is fake about it, that it don't date back to the time it was published, but it's a later on add-on. But the information in it is valuable, that they even have to look over the fact that it's quote unquote fake. But yeah.
All right. All right. What do you want to talk about? Because I know you came on to talk about something. What's up? What's on your mind?
Oh yeah. Now regarding the Nisba, in Arabic, a Nisba is like I would say like a nickname. But we find in the Tariq al-Fatash a title that the king of Ghana went by, that we find this same very name amongst the Sephardic Jews of Catalonia. a very famous family called the Al Taras.
What's the name that you're talking about?
Taras, Taras.
Spell it.
Taras.
You find Taras where? Where do you find it?
It's in the Tariq Al Fatash, but you won't really know what's going on unless you do more homework on the kings of ancient Ghana and the founder. You would clock on straight away what's going on. But that was his nickname.
Is this connected to the Tsar dynasty stuff?
All of that's all twang. It's all entwined, so you can't really separate it. They're all one.
Let me ask you a question, right?
Go on.
The Tsar dynasty, where did they come from?
Oh, so now this is a techie one now. So some traditions say they came from Yemen. Some traditions say they came from Syria. And there's another tradition that don't really say where they come from. That I would say North Africa if we really want to be critical. But there's 3 traditions to the Tsar dynasty. The famous one, which we all hear of, is the Tsar Al-Yaman. But that tradition stemming from the Songhai Empire.
Question.
Go on.
What year was that tradition written?
The Tsar dynasty tradition. I mean, not Tsar dynasty, the Tsar Al-Yaman tradition. I would say that came roughly 1400s, 13. I can't really put a date on it because
let me
the
ask you
stories documented in 1600s.
Are you familiar with Farias, the guy Farias' work that look at the epigraphic evidence from 11th century to the 16th century in Mali, Songhai? And he has
the graveyards,
the primary sources of what the people wrote in Arabic and Islamic terms or whatever. Are you familiar with his work?
I'm not too familiar with the name, but I'm very in depth of the work, so I'll say what he taught in it. So
he wrote the Arabic medieval inscriptions in Mali, and he covers from 11th century to the 16th century.
Yeah, go on.
Do you want to know? He says the whole Al-Yaman thing is made up, right? Because listen first. Listen.
I'm listening.
I'm going to teach you something today that you never knew before. Would you agree? Would you agree that the Al-Yaman dynasty has a Jewish tradition to it?
Yeah.
All right. Now watch this. Can you point out to me in the records where it says that they're Jews?
I told you that the founder of ancient Ghana, his name's Taras. Taras is the father of Songhai.
No. You misunderstood what I asked. In the Tsar dynasty tradition, that's all we talking about. Don't tell me about no Taras and some later tradition. I'm talking about the Tsar dynasty tradition. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna Google it and put it on the screen, and we're gonna look at it together. Right? Hold on 1 second.
It's not all. When you say Tsar dynasty, do you mean the Songhai tradition?
The
That's
tradition
what you're talking about.
Right, the tradition with the Tsar dynasty, right?
Of the Songhai, because the Tsar dynasty is broad, it's not fixated on one place.
Let me premise this a second. Hold on. Let me premise this a second. I'm gonna Google Jews in West Africa, right? And the reason why I'm doing this, because there was a guy that came on my channel at 20 for 20. They said I didn't have no people black on, which was a lie. But he's a Jew who is black, who lives in Israel today, who was born in America, right? And I'm going to show you something that he did. That was very important. The history of Jews in West Africa, the Wikipedia article, he actually wrote this article that we see on Wikipedia that everybody likes to quote from. My premise.
Put it on the screen, I can't see.
The reason, no, hold on, beloved. The reason why I'm talking about this is because I've been studying this for 2 years, right? And what I like to do is whenever I study something, I like to talk about it because I want to see if I'm on the right track. So in the Jews of West Africa, history of the Jews in West Africa, if you Google it, the Wikipedia article is written by a guy by the name of Heru. He lives in Israel today. He's a black African-American who moved back to Israel. All right? His family was Sephardics who were not slaves. He's a descendant of Jews who were not slaves that came to the West. All right. All right, here we go. So this is from the Tariq al-Sudan or the Tariq es-Sudan. That's where he gets it from. The page from the Tariq Sudan, which describes Za or Zua Alaman coming from Yemen and set in Kukia. Hold on 1 second. Also, Sabia, hold on a second, Sabia. Hold on 1 second. Now he writes, according to the certain local Malayan history, an encounter. Hold on 1 second, too. I need one more article just to bring something else to the page. Let me go to my Orthodox Moor file. Where's my?
You know, this is one tradition, though. I have to let you know, though.
Brother, you kept saying, you said it 4 times already.
Yeah, cool.
4 times. Hold on 1 second. I need to bring something to the table, to the conversation. That's important. Where is this at? All right. Islam knowledge. Man, I need to find this thing right now. Where is it? Laws against Jews, Coptic Jews under Islam. And I'm going to point out also, hold on, where is this? Let's have review. I think this is it right here. I think this is it. Yeah, this is it right here. This is it right here. Log into JSTAR. Log in. Here we go. I got it on the screen. You get it right here. It's bigger. All right. I got it. Okay, good. Hold on. Let me see. How many pages is this review? 8 pages. Hold on 1 second, family. 1 second. One little second. 1 little second. 1 little second. Little second. Okay. By the way, in the meantime, if you want to talk about the other 2 traditions, you could go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say that basically you're emphasizing on one side of the tradition, and we have deities worshipped around that region that is named after the father of Dia, of Za. So if you're gonna pin it solely on a Jewish thing, then you've got another thing to tackle, because we can find pagan worship of the father of Za.
What was he worshiping?
What was he
worshiping?
Beg your pardon?
What was he worshiping?
No, not he. I can't tell you what he was specifically worshiping, but the people who venerate this individual, they worship his father in a very African pagan way. So is that, how would you explain that?
I don't disagree with that. Why would I disagree with that?
Okay, go on.
The whole thing I'm talking about is Jews in West Africa, and that's my point. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the sources that proves Jews in West Africa at the time, like their community. This is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about anything else.
Okay.
All right. So if I'm trying to say to everybody that's watching, I have not found a Jewish community in Western Central Africa or below the Sahara Desert before 1492. I have not found it. If you have it, I welcome the information. I made a post on my Facebook. I have Tudor Parfit, who is the leading scholar of African Jewry and West African Jewry. He's the guy that was one of the advisors for Edith Bruder, who wrote the book Jews in West Africa. So you're talking about the best of the best. Is on my timeline saying he may have information. He's not going to share it, but I know what he's going to share before he shares it. So because I've read his books, I know where he's coming from. But I'm asking everybody in the community who believes Jews were in West Africa before 1492, before colonialism, before anybody started coming into Congo, before Congo started saying, I'm going to adopt Christianity because it sounds like some of my shit that I believe in. I don't mean to call it the African tradition shit. I'm just saying
when you mean Jew, do you mean like the rabbinic tradition, like the 1st century AD, that one?
Yeah, not necessarily any tradition. Any tradition.
It's kind of sticky now, Garfield. Because you got to remember, after the fall of
hold on, beloved. Do you have, listen to what I'm saying. do you have a community of Jews before 1492 on record? Do you have what's called, do you have material evidence of this? Because I'm gonna show you. I think you should be quiet until I'm done, because you may need to see what angle I'm coming from. And this is not an attack on anybody. Rastafarian put they were Yemeni Jew slaves sold to Oxamites. That has nothing to do with West and Central Africa. I understand the Indian trade, and I understand why they even said Yemen in the oral tradition, because I have my own positions on that. But I am trying to figure out, I want to find a Jewish community. A community is a big word, because we have Jewish communities in Tuat, in Algeria. We have Jewish communities in North Africa, in Sijil Masia. We have in other areas of Northern Africa. We have literal communities documented by different people. We have this guy.
So Garfield, you see, when you're saying Jewish, are you talking about like the worship, like one God, Yahweh?
Hold on one second. Let me take this off the screen. We have this guy, SD Goldstein. We have him. So this documents almost every community during the medieval time periods.
What, following the Halakha? Is that what you're talking about? Them people?
It doesn't matter if Halakha, because they document the Ethiopian traditions and they don't follow Halakha.
So what about the Israelites that mixed in with the Phoenicians? That's actually documented.
Documented where?
Like we've got, that's in the Bible. That
Bro,
we've got three instances.
Get off my panel, man. You're not making no. You can't. I can't have a conversation with you, because what you do is you believe in the BS. No, you're back on. You believe in the BS, so you take the conversation where you don't need to go. Hold on, man. I'm talking about West and Central Africa. Do you have a reference to West and Central African communities, Jewish communities? Do you have material evidence?
I don't know what you mean by Jewish, Garfield.
Oh, all right. No, you know what? Why don't you click back on when you're ready to have a conversation? Let me finish doing what I'm doing. This is what I'm trying to point out to everybody, right? Sabio, chill out. This is what I'm trying to do for everybody that's at home. All right. We have a topic that we're going to talk about. The issue here is this. My worldview is skewed because I'm addressing people who I don't believe are Israelites or Jews, who are African Americans. One thing, and I want everybody to pay attention to this. Do you ever notice, Sabio, usual, whenever they're talking about we come from this and we come from that, they never talk about the woman who supposedly are Israelites too and their genetic makeup. Do you know why? And no one has tackled this from a genetic perspective. They don't talk about the empty DNA, the woman DNA that's in the man, that's made up of 95 to almost 100% of L2 or L3 or L1 or L0, which is African markers, which we have examples traced 8,000 years ago and 3,000 years ago back in West and Central Africa, Cameroon, and different areas surrounding that area. We have evidence of a continuity of the mtDNA. The African American woman, almost 100% carry the mtDNA of West and Central African woman. And you know what? Nobody who argues even the Egyptian angle, whether it's Jonathan Owens, whether it's Ashar, or anyone who argues the woman, the Egyptian perspective that we are connected to Egypt, and the people who are Hebrew Israelites who are connected to want to connect themselves to Hebrew Israelism, never talks about the mtDNA in the male and the mtDNA in the black woman in America. And because it kills the entire argument. Are you telling me almost 100% of the women are showing L2 or L3, showing West African connections? How is that possible if you're an Israelite?
And you know, I think that's really what made them upset with me and my DNA test, because mine traces back to L3. And what I think that's why they never really mention it, That's why they always harp on the father line, because that can be blended more than the L3 or the maternal line. So that's a good point, but they really don't. None of them.
Mika, what's up? Something I said something, and I said black woman, and you jumped on the stage.
If you say black woman, I have to jump up on here.
That's right. You got to rip. What's up? What's going on?
Yeah, but I'm just listening right now.
Yeah, but Mika, you never hear when they argue about E1, B1A. They never mention the woman's mtDNA. Why? And the thing is, in women, you only carry the female genetic markers. Men carry the male and the female. So if the man is E1, B1A, what is his mtDNA? That plays a role in understanding what's going on. So the black woman is in your DNA, brothers. And you're not supposed to mix with the Hamites. So you got the quote-unquote Hamite DNA the whole time you hear beefing about you an Israelite. And to the black woman in America, you are not an Israelite. You are L2 primarily. L2 and L0, which goes back to West Africa, or even not West Africa, to Africa. You can't get around it. You are L marker. Yeah, a small percentage, like 1 or 2%, have H or K. Possible. Yeah. Facts. But ladies and gentlemen, 98 to 99% of y'all is traced back to Mother Africa. Trace back to Mother Africa, and y'all fighting. I was gonna call you today too in the Thunder. Say I need you on here because everybody talking about my brother Thunder and his comments. And I said, listen, man, we need Thunder. We need somebody that's gonna keep it real with us. What's up, Mika?
Oh, I was gonna say Thunder last week. Oh my God.
I love it.
But man, we missed Thunder.
But before we reach to that, Thunder, you jumped on. You wanted to say something right away, or you want to wait a little bit?
Mickey, what you think about last week first, and then we'll go.
No. I don't want to talk about that.
All right. So this is what I got. Listen, man, you got to lay off. You got to lay off us, bro. Why can't we not be Black Hebrew Israelites? What is the problem? Tell me what the problem is, man. Why we just can't be ours? Why we can't claim this? Why is it so bad to claim?
I never said you can't claim it.
Okay. All right.
But we don't have to lie. Because a lot of blacks in the West, unbeknownst to these Israelites, were Jews because of them coming over as Jews. They were enslaved in Suriname, Curacao, in the Americas, in Jamaica, in Scotland, in different areas where there were large Jewish communities that were transported over here on their own free will. Those people had black slaves who were manumissioned after 7 years, and they became Jews. They were converts. There has always been a Jewish community in the West. Always. Before Cherry, before One West, before all of them, there were blacks who were considered. The problem is when you start saying now, you are not the converts, we are the original people. That's the problem. That's so the lie. That's
you would relent if they did not say they are converts. If they say that Tazaria, clear convert, right?
Clear. Light skin clear as
well. I'm saying he started as a Christian and of course converted to being an Israelite. These are clear distinctions. And I think all of them did. What I'm saying is, it's clear that they converted to being a Hebrew Israelite. What I'm saying is, you would relent if they just say they converted to that and not claim that they were the original, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing with the Nation of Islam. They're really copying what the Nation of Islam did. The Nation of Islam is saying we are the original Israelites too. We are the true Israelites.
No, the Nation of Islam has never said. I ain't never heard them say
I was a part of it.
that they were the original Muslims. I ain't never heard that.
No, they said they're the original Israelites.
Who said that?
That's what they teach.
I ain't never heard that.
Yeah, they teach it. They're the original Israelites.
Okay, look. Let's look at Farrakhan. Farrakhan is a clear convert. He didn't start out as a Muslim and none of that stuff. So we know where them boys come from. We know where all religions come from. Every one of them come from over there, man. Middle East, North Africa, all that stuff. We got that. So I'm saying, now what? Why they can't? You just got a problem with them saying they converted. I mean, you wouldn't have a problem with them if they say they converted to. I don't know why they won't just say they converted. They know they did. I don't. That part. No, I would love for everybody to jump on.
That can sell. The book that the slave master gave you, you got to say you the original people in that book, and you the one that's really behind that book. That's what that is.
Who do they believe? I would love for them to tell us who they believe wrote the book. Do they believe black people wrote the book?
Yeah.
Or do they believe that Middle East?
Yeah, because the Israelites are black.
But we know it's a Middle Eastern religion.
It has to be them, bro. It has to be them. The lie has to hold up. The lie has to hold up. And for the black woman out there that's claiming this, you have no idea your genetics trace back to two people that we could trace back to two people in 8,000 years ago, way before the Bible was even written. We have you in West and Central Africa. We don't have you in the Levant. We don't have you in the Levant in no crazy numbers. Maybe a minuscule, less than 1%. You're not there. You are here in West and Central Africa, and you carry genetic traits. Not only the sickle cell trait, but other traits that 70% of African Americans have. You are directly connected to West and Central Africa. The majority of y'all. We can't run from it. The male and the female. Can't run from it. So that's my gripe. My gripe is the hatred for Africa, calling them Hamites. This is the difference between the Nation of Islam and the Hebrew Israelites. The Nation of Islam don't run around and say all Africans are cursed. They don't go around and say that. They don't run around and call them Hamites and say, oh, the Hamites did this, the Hamites did that. They don't say that because the Hamites have the same genetic makeup as the African American or the Jamaican or the Black British or the Afro-Brazilian. It's the same makeup, same E1B1A, same sickle cell trait, same allele that 70% of African Americans have. So I'm saying to you, listen, family, we can go back, even if you look at the genetic makeup of the people who they found in the Middle East, right? In so-called Israel and that region. They all have the SCLC marker, the one that shows the light skin gene. Some of them have the light skin gene. Some of them don't have it that much. It's a little. So you see that they're medium tone, looking like how Arabs generally look today in that region. We have the genetic makeup to show how people look. Did y'all know that when they take your DNA, it's not about your E1, B1A and all alone? It could tell which alleles you have. If you have MC12, it could tell that you have what's called auburn here or reddish brown here, where your hair is straight and what you call it. It could tell what type of hair you have. It could tell what type of eyes you have. This is what your genetic makeup is telling you. Oh, you have light blue eyes. You have light green eyes. How many Africans you know have blue eyes today?
I know a few.
Not that Africans can't have it, but how many of us do have it along with the light skin gene? That's the key to it. How much of us have it with freckles? Those genes are not connected. Well, black people can have freckles, but mostly 99.9% of the people that have freckles are from Northwest Europe. Period. People that have auburn here, which is brownish, reddish here. The guy that used to play for the NBA, what's his name? Thunder, the one that had the look like a white man that could dunk the draft pick, and he had a brother in the NBA. He's light skinned. He got reddish brownish hair, but his hair you could tell he's a black man because it's nappy. But if you have reddish brown straight hair, that's Northwest European. Black African Americans and black people don't have that. So when you have those.
Blake Griffin and all them.
Yeah, Blake Griffin had it. He had reddish brown hair, but it was curly hair. I call African Americans.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, Afro hair. But it wasn't straight. If it was straight, You know, that's a Northwest European trait. That's another way how you could prove how you're connected to people. Nappy, that's racist.
Oh, you can't do lookership now. We don't want to build. You don't. See, you were doing good. Don't go down the wrong road.
Not lookership. I'm saying Blake Griffin was a mixture of black and white. That's why he ended up with the red hair, reddish brown hair.
What I'm saying is, if you look at them Berbers and them boys down there, I mean, they light skinned too. They ain't sub-Saharan or nothing.
Before we do anything else, since we got 4 people on the panel, anybody have any words about Baaba Heru? He passed. I talked about him earlier. We had a couple of conversations, and it was all positive. Anybody want to get into Baaba Heru, or want to give a shout out to Baaba Heru?
I'm glad that we had a chance to meet him. I'm glad that I'm glad we had a chance to meet him. I'm glad he had a chance to touch so many people. He had a very big influence from what I'm hearing. I don't know nothing about him, but I definitely, I mean, through Jabari, he touched us through Jabari at the very least. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's a very highly touted man up there with y'all, and yeah, I'm sorry to hear him pass, man. That's a big blow. I'm sure Sonny and everybody taking it pretty tough. You know, pray for them and pray for the family.
Yeah, definitely. I think Mike want to say anything. I know you probably didn't know him personally. You probably do. I don't know.
I didn't know him personally, but I heard good things about him. I heard he made a lot of jewelry and stuff like that. You know, to Zaryak showed that chain he has.
Yes, that's what's made by Baaba Heru. Give it to him. Yes.
Right. So I don't know him that well, but I'm sorry to hear he passed.
Yeah, we spoke a number of times because I had some issues. He wouldn't be scared to call me and tell me about myself. So, and of course, as an elder, he's not my elder per se. And that's another thing I don't want the community to do. Because Baaba Heru is an elder under the Kemetic stuff, don't make him my elder per se. I respect him because he's older than me, because my mom and dad taught me well. So if an older person come and give you advice, whether you want to hear it or not, you still got to respect the person. Every time he called me, as mad as I was, that man would talk me down to be so calm. The guy was an excellent, whether he was a counselor or whatever, whenever he spoke to me, I never raised my voice. I never shouted at him. That man was he taught me a lot. He taught me a lot of dealing with people person to person. And whenever he called me, he knew I was mad about something. He would always call me and say, in Garfield, you know how West Indian, he goes in and he teach me and say whatever he got to say. And the truth of the matter is, I never beefed with him. I would say something in public, and he would say it to me in private. He's like, Garfield, you didn't have to say that in public. You could have came to me. You have my number. You could have came to me. And he's right. He was right. Every time he was right, every single time. I'm like, you know what? Elder, you're right. And again, just because he's somebody else's elder don't make him my elder per se, but he was an elder person to me, and my parents taught me correctly to respect my elders. So it wouldn't have to be after running around and say, oh, he's a Kemetic elder. No, I don't look at him as a Kemetic elder. I look at him as an elder person to me, somebody who has witnessed, somebody has been here longer than I am, and I need to show him respect.
Right. He's elderly.
And what makes somebody an elder?
No, elder, as far as elder within that community. So he's an elder within the community.
He's an older person. He's older.
He's a veteran. Teacher. A teacher in the community. Hey, you know what I noticed with this guy, Akani? You're getting on my nerves, man. First you said nobody talked about L3 when Sabio clearly said he was L3. Clearly said that. But you just want to argue in the nobody. I don't believe Akans is Israelites or Jews, bro. Nobody does. But listen, let me finish teaching what I'm teaching with this. Just to get back to this, but Baaba Heru.
Hold on. The close out on Baaba Heru now. Mm-hmm. Now, let's do like with Charlotte Kirk. He had a lot of good things, but we got to say everything now. We can't leave.
Nah, I don't want to do the negative.
No, we gotta deal with the pseudo, man. We gotta deal with it, bro.
Charlotte Kirk is white, and we are primarily very prejudicial on this.
I'm not talking about Charlotte Kirk. I'm saying there was a lot of pseudo. I mean, how are we gonna do this? We gonna just leave everything else out?
Well, not today. We could talk about it another time.
Oh, that was too soon. But you know Charlie Kirk ain't in the ground yet, and we done ran through that man all week.
No, we don't care about white folks. You know that. You know these people are racist. I mean, no. Listen, I'm not a racist. No, I'm not. I'm far from it. But I'll say this. You know the majority of African Americans have in their subconscious a natural, and I'm going to use the word natural, a natural dislike for people that don't look like them. And it's because of how we are and how we are raised. I wasn't raised that way. Remember, I come from the NOI that teaches the white man is the devil. I don't believe that anymore. I don't believe that anymore. Remember, I was raised in the white man is the devil. Now you got the ISUPK and one way saying the white man is the devil, copying the Nation of Islam. I don't teach that. I don't think any human being learns to hate until they are taught hate. Because look at it, Thunder. Me, you, I hear Keros once said this one day. If me, you have kids and we put all the kids with everybody else's kids in a daycare, none of the kids hate each other. None of them hate each other. They are taught how to hate. We are taught how to hate. We are taught different ideas. So when the human is not affected, all them kids can grow up together and live as one. Does that mean so I should tell my child go hate the white man because he's white? That is craziness. I'm not saying that folks who don't look like us have done some crazy things. Crazy things. But at the end of the day, should I blame the guy in Belgium who killed all them black people? Should I blame Hitler for being Hitler? Should I hate all white people because of what Hitler did? Should I hate all white people for what the slave masters did?
What's the date we gonna deal with some of this stuff Baaba Heru has said and has prognosticated? When we gonna deal with it? What's the date we gonna do that?
No, listen, the difference between Charlie, you can't compare Charlie Kirk to Baaba Heru.
I'm not talking about Charlie. I'm asking you, what's the date? What's the date that we're going to deal with some of those things?
So you want to talk about Baaba Heru, right? Baaba Heru and what so-called pseudoisms compared to hate speech? You can't.
I'm not talking about no. Let's just cover everything that Baaba Heru taught and how it has manifested in the pseudoisms that we are dealing with today with Black Egypt and all this other stuff.
Well, at this time and point, I'm going to punk out.
All right, that's all right, but are we going to deal with it? What's the date?
No. If you want to, you could say what you want to say. It's my panel, it's my show. All I'm saying is today, I'm giving reverence to somebody who's respected in the African American community.
I agree with you.
As an immigrant, and I have to point it out as a Jamaican, I want to give honor and respect to a man, an African American man. Well, actually, I don't even know if he's an African American, but somebody who's revered in the African American culture, who brought Kimmel to another level in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s.
You all have run down scholars that have been pseudo and dead for years.
You know what, Thunder? You know I make you talk freely on my channel. I'm gonna ask you to give Baaba Heru a pass today. That's why
I am gonna give him a pass today. I said, what's the date we gonna do it? That's what I asked.
He was a coconut. You could go in then. Go ahead. He was a coconut. Go ahead. I'm just kidding.
Side note, sidebar. You see, Team USA is beating the brakes off of everybody.
Yep. Shout out to that sister in the 100, man. Shout out to her. I give her a shout out on my phone, man. Shout out to her, man.
All right, go ahead. Get back to the comment.
Being descendants of Africans, you're going to see Africans on great display. So Africans are, they're amazing people. They're amazing when it comes to short distances. Americans, African Americans, Jamaicans, you're going to see them always at the top. Yeah, so if he was an Israelite, you'd have exposed everything. Hey, I'm going to say this. If an Israelite die that I know of, I'm not going to make fun of it. I'm not going to mock it. I'm going to do the same thing I did with Charlie.
You beat up Cherry. You done beat up Cherry. You done beat up a lot of people, bro. And I'm telling you, you ain't keeping that same energy, and that's fine. I'm just asking you when we gonna do it. That's all I'm asking. But if you don't want to do it, hey, we ain't gotta do it. We can leave it alone. We can leave it alone, huh?
Baba Heru, I got you back on this.
Okay, we got you. All right, no problem. That's it.
Y'all scared to talk about it. Ankh, you're not allowed to come on the show until I bring up Jabari.
Oh, yeah, come on.
Yo, by the way, too, if I had to pick somebody to debate Jabari outside myself, I would pick Brother Ankh. What he did the other day was amazing.
That was nice. That was nice.
Yeah,
that was
bro.
nice. That was
Yeah,
nice.
that
That was nice.
Hero, man.
You got to give him props.
Hero as in Baaba Heru. Hero.
Now, I think Jabari did get him with the area of what is it called? Area of come on the panel. Area of content.
Hold on, let me get this out of the way. You know what? Let me get this out of the way. And then we can continue, right? I got to say this about the West African article, right? The history of the Jews in West Africa, right? If you notice, it talks about, according to certain local Malayan history and account in the Tariq al-Sudan, may have recorded the first Jewish presence in West Africa, which coincided with the arrival of the Zua ruler of Kokia and his brother who settled near the Niger River. He was only known as Za or Zua Aleman, which means he comes from Yemen. Local traditions state that Zua Aleman was a member of the Yemenite Jewish, which were either transported or voluntarily moved from the Himmerite kingdom by the Ethiopian. Now, this is very interesting, and this is what I wanted to ask Akani. Where is the source for this? If you notice, there is no source for this. Local tradition saying that he was from Yemen, from Jewish communities, based off the Arabic sources, there's no records of them saying that. They just say they come from Yemen. This whole addition about coming from Jews, where did that come from? Where did it come from? You see, listen to when the Tariq, let's go to the Tariq al-Sudan for a second and look at when it was written. In around 1655, chronicler Timbuktu al-Saadi, it provides the single most important primary source for the history of the Songhai Empire. The author was born 1594. So he basically wrote in the 17th century. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in the 17th century, all right? Now, look at this now. Let me go to this right here. Very good stuff on the Songhai Empire. Let's go to the J-Star article. The Timbuktu, here we go. Let's go back to a little bit more right here. Given the lack of respect with which epigraphy has been treated during the past century of historical endeavor, Marius Farias dons an erudite mantle of advocacy on its behalf in an eye-opening chapter called Reclaiming Space for Epigraphy from the Timbuktu Chronicles. Here he throws down the gauntlet by describing them as short-lived but well-route Tariq genre without either local prototype or local follow-up. He argues that the chroniclers, in pursuit of their aim to represent the Songhai state as a continuous thread running across three successive dynasties, manipulated their lengthy kings list, obfuscating periods of dynastic change and interval. The epigraphic evidence has convinced Marius Farias that the Timbuktu Chronicles artificially shortens Mali's period of domination of the eastern arc of the Niger Bend, and that they also prolong the length of the Zua dynasty or Za dynasty into the past and possibly forward in time. The Timbuktu historians artificially lengthening of the Zua dynasty that leaves no space for those bearing the title Malik highlights the dissonance between inscriptions and chronicles. In this case, Marius Farias presents firmly dated epigraphic evidence that some of the Mulak, none of whom are mentioned by the Timbuktu historians, clearly preceded epigraphically documented Zua rulers. This is huge. What he's doing is looking at the primary epigraphic evidence from the 11th century to the 16th century of the Songhai Empire, or within that region of Mali, I should say, or where the Ghana Empire was in Mali and Songhai, from the 11th century to the 16th century. This is primary document from the indigenous people. clearly preceded. So he said he found kings that preceded the Zah dynasty. Because remember, in the Tariq al-Sudan, it's acting like the Zua rulers is the first rulers. No, 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 no. They found primary sources documented in the area that they found the epigraphic evidence. The importance of incorporating this evidence into the historical record is further highlighted by 6 inscriptions mentioning women rulers. Why do you want to block out the woman? The black woman is God. What's wrong with y'all? Mentioning women who bore the title Malika, and the author's compelling argument that the Malikat, the queens, should be seen as a royal series in their own right, not merely as an adjunct to the Moloch King series. If that is not sufficiently dramatic, there's also the tombstone that mutely testifies to matrilineal descent by connecting 2 titles, one for a king and one for his mother. This is the tomb of Zuwabi al-Malika, Queen Hakia. The author's discussion of the Malikat as genealogical fountainheads in their own right and the questions raised by the presence of 2 titles in one inscription make stimulating reading indeed. Marias Farias also treats us to remarkably insightful analysis of the ways and means by which the Timbuktu Chronicles gathered and manipulated historical evidence to construct their Songhai narrative. For example, in his exposure of the legend of Ali Kulun, he finds it possible to identify patterns and elements appropriated from both Tuareg lore and Songhai oralcy for the Timbuktu Chronicles. He stresses the urgency of taking heed of these borrowings because they are one source of the problems that have held back appreciation of the value of the epigraphic evidence. Any historian familiar with the King's List in the Tariq al-Sudan is aware of the credibility problem with Alaman, the alleged first ruler of the Zohar dynasty, who is variously described as an Arab from Yemen, a giant. This is how he's described in the source: a giant from the bush who could run as fast as giraffes and ostriches, or the killer of a monster fish. You know, monster fish like in the Bible. They all laugh at the Bible when it talks about Jonah and the whale. What is this monster fish with a ring in its nose? In the views of Marias Farias, Ali Kulan, who has usually been accepted as a historical figure, is no more historical than Zua Aliman. So Zua Aliman, when you look at the sources and compare the stories, the contemporary stories, you realize that Ali Kulan and Zua Aliman are not even real figures. According to the Timbuktu Chronicles, Ali Kulan was the first of the dynasty of rulers called Sanyi, a Mandi word often contracted to sea, and is claimed to have had links with Mali. In one variant, he's born in Mali and serves as a ruler for a time, and in another version, he's the son of a Zua dynasty ruler taken as a hostage. You remember when I asked Akani, do you believe these stories? Yes, man. Yes, I believe. Dumb as hell. Dynasty ruler taken as a hostage to serve as the Malayan court, later returned to liberate Songhai from Malayan rule. Mariah Farasi see Ali Kun as a construct out of folklore and myth and a trickster hero in the broader sense of the expression. In his view, both Ali Kulan and his successor brother Silman Nari served to shorten the gap between Songhai dynasties for the Timbuktu Chronicles, who are not keen to dwell on submission to foreign rule. The earlier the C dynasty is claimed to be, the shorter the period of Malayan domination. Aside from the problem of historicity, the author finds that the dynastic extensions impinge on interpretation of the epigraphic evidence from Bentia. One of the many outstanding features of the author's overall analysis of the epigraphy and related evidence is his avoidance of the sort of artificial barrier that has existed between Berber studies on one hand and the study of the West African Sahel on the other hand. All right, I'm not going to bore y'all with all this reading back and forth, but I just wanted to bring that out because we have the information, the Tariq al-Sudan, we have all the information, so we know what it is. I could come right now and educate him. You're not going to educate me on anything. You're not going to educate me on anything. All you do is throw a monkey wrench in everything. You believe in the Aliyah Yaman story. You believe it because you want to claim your Akan, so everything the Akan right. Just like how the Bible believe a thunder should believe everything the Bible right. But anyway, wow.
You're going to let me explain, yeah?
No, there's nothing to explain. I already explained already. What are you teaching?
Come on, Garfield, man.
What are you teaching me?
So cool. In the Akan tradition, Nyame had 4 wives, yeah? In total, he had 5. One of them was barren, and the other 4 made sense to him. The last of the four gave birth to the ruling dynasty of the Ghana Empire. I don't want to go too depths into it, but what I'm saying is literally found in the Soninke tradition. We've got names that attach us to noble women, the founders of certain clans of the Soninkes. Is tied to us. Yeah. Those women, that lineage you was talking about of Zar Kosai, I think that dates to 13th century. According to the Tariq al-Sudan, there was 15 rulers before the Hijrah of Islam. So that means that the dynasty roughly it started before Islam. So if you're counting from that person you named, it's still not correct. And on top of that, when we start from the first name of the Zar dynasty, Zar al-Yaman, that's not even Zar al-Yaman. It's another person. It's literally another person. So he's naming himself after that person. So the tradition of Zar dynasty is very mucky if you don't know what's going on. So you can't just come into it and start reading it and thinking you know what's going on. You have to read at least 10 sources, I swear to God, to get the clear gist on what's going on.
You sound like a Jamaican. Let me ask you one question. Why is the Ankh attached to Ghana attached to Yemen? What is because remember you're reading people
that's coming from one side.
Hold on. What all right. Why Zar al-Yaman is important to a Muslim culture? Why is Yemen attached to a Muslim culture?
This is my theory. I think that whoever mated with that side of Songa is coming from the Kanem-Borno people of the Dugar dynasty or something like that. Them people attach themselves. It's a whole long story, but I get where it's coming from. The Dragon Slayer is initially something, the big giant is initially something to do with Dinga that somehow passed on to Zar, because obviously that's his offspring. So it's not that it started from Zar. No, that Dragon Slayer narrative is quite older. You know what I'm saying? That's what I told you. That's what I told you about him being worshipped.
You know, I was reading the Arabic sources earlier, right? And it was talking about the white rulers in I saw a true story bring up that who are the white rulers in that region?
The Fulani.
The Fulani, right?
Yes.
What are you saying, Brother Law?
I said the Fulani, yes, brother.
Yeah, you came on to say something. What's up, Brother Law? You came on to say something.
No, I came on to say to Sabio, he was saying something in regards with Yemen. I had said in the chat that most brothers and sisters that come from Yemen are perceived as African Americans of the Arab world. As us being the lowest people here, Yemenis people in the Arab world, amongst Yemen, Saudi Arabia, and other places, they're perceived as the black folks of the Arab world.
Watch this. That's going to blow your mind right now. That's going to blow your mind. Why Garfield is the greatest at this. Watch this. You're gonna say Alhamdulillah when I'm done. Watch this. The reason why Yemen is important, because when the trans-Saharan trade is going on and they're collecting black people, right? What happened is, what I found out, because Garfield, my studies go deeper, right? I found an allele in African Americans that's only in Yemen. White people can't have it. No other culture can't have that allele. Only black people have that genetic trait, that allele, that genetic trait. African Americans, British blacks, Afro-Brazilians, Jamaicans, us, right? And another trait that they have is the sickle cell trait. So they both go hand in hand. This trait that I'm talking about is in Yemen. And the reason why the Yemen story is important to Muslims, because when they would trade Africans in the trans-Saharan trade, they go to North Africa, then they take the slaves to Yemen. And what happened is to the south, and guess what happened? That's the only place that got the genetic traits that the African American has, that the Jamaican has, that the Afro-Brazilian has, that the West and Central African have. So when you now come to me and say to me, they're considered the African Americans in the Muslim world, in a colloquial sense,
yes,
It makes complete sense because genetically, they have the same genetics. A lot of them, over 30 to 40% of them, have the same genetics as we do.
Indeed.
So Yemen, the story of Yemen makes sense from an authoritative position. That's where we send the slaves to. So the tradition saying we're the king and we have a history from there makes a lot of sense. I don't know about the Borneo route or whatever. I'm just talking what the genetic history shows. It shows that we went to North Africa, and it shows that we went to Yemen, and there's no way, no how. We as black women, I'm talking to black women right now, who are a lot of the slaves because they slept with a lot of them, and slept with them, and they had children that had the same genetic traits, the same sickle cell trait, the same genetic trait that 70% of African Americans have, the same E1B1A is there too. If you bring up Yemen's DNA right now, you see E1B1A, the same thing that we have. We're too connected with Yemen, because this is why I never wanted to come out, Mika, and share my genetic trait studies, because I couldn't explain how it ended up in Yemen. Because I want to show African Americans you are traced back to Africa, but when it's in the Middle East now, they say, oh, but this trait is in the Middle East. You have no argument because Israel is in the Middle East, but the Middle East is Yemen.
It's Yemen.
So in Yemen, ladies and gentlemen, they have the same genetic traits we have. Say, for example, we have the Benin haplotype, the Senegalese haplotype, the Cameroon haplotype of the sickle cell trait. They have it. They have a specific, I think they have the Benin haplotype in Yemen, and they also have the trait, another trait I'm not going to mention right now, in Yemen.
Now, how did it get there?
Well, Garfield, sir, I quickly popped out, but was you see, I just trying to catch on. So are you linking the Yemen DNA with the African DNA based on the sub-Saharan slave trade, right?
Sub-Saharan slave trade, yes, sir.
Yeah, but some scholars are saying it predates that.
No,
this is the problem now. Some are saying it at least 3,000 years old.
No. They're
if
saying
it's 3,000 years, brother, where would the starting point be? What reference
I'll
are
get
you
the
using?
source for you. I'll get the source for you. I'm gonna have to literally filter in, but it's I thought that as well, but they're saying it predates that. This is why you've got some Arabs in Oman and Yemen and them areas. They're baffled. They're like, huh? How we related to you lot? Even we're talking before the sub-Saharan slave trade. So
y'all
boy,
done messed up.
that's a bit. And on top of that,
Y'all
with the
done,
Akans, we have Berber DNA. We have DNA going back to the Levant. So if we put
hold on.
the Yemen to the side,
I can't have Berber DNA. How much Berber DNA? You see, this is the disingenuous what you do.
North African DNA.
Hold on. When you say that Akan has Berber DNA, what percentage? Because now when you say it on my panel, people think it's 40%, 60%, 80%. You are basically being disingenuous because you want to be a Middle Eastern guy.
Nah,
so this is the point. No,
my whole context.
No. I want you to bring your source right now. You know what you're becoming? You're becoming like the guy Gideon, where you come in here, you make these wild claims and say, I have the sources. First of all, you're going to show brother law that 3,000-year-olds that said that the Yemenites have a 3,000-year connection with sub-Saharan Africans. You go and show that right now. Then after that, you're going to show that the Akan has Berber DNA that's very significant. Because if it's 0.1% or even 0.03% like the Nigerians claim with the Middle Eastern DNA, it makes no sense. So don't come on here and try to be disingenuous. This is why I don't like talking.
You see when I said Berber, yeah.
All right, no. Bring your source, put it in the back chat, and I'll bring it back up. I'm not playing games with this guy because he talk all this nonsense in the chat and blah, 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 blah. No, you're not doing that on my panel. Just like how I stopped Thunder from saying nothing negative about the great Baaba Heru, in some. Well, he's great in some sense, not in all sense.
I didn't say anything negative about Baaba Heru. I asked you what is the date that we're going to deal with the issues that we may have with his teaching. That's all I said. I praised Baaba Heru when you asked me to say something. I praised him. I said I ain't never met him, but I ain't heard nothing but good things I'm glad we had a chance to interact on YouTube or whatever, and I'm glad that we've been blessed through Jabari, via him. So that's what I said. I ain't said nothing negative about Baaba Heru.
Thunder, good morning, brother. Nice to see you, traveler.
Brother Law, you good, brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's good, man. Hey, listen, Baba. All right, let's get back to this right here. So what y'all done? You done messed up. So you telling me that E1B1A is in Yemen? You now? I'm about to take my FBA hat off, and I'm about to put on my Black Hebrew Israelite. I'm about to be a Black Hebrew Israelite now, because we saying that the whole thing. Well, hey, Middle East, ain't y'all.
Let me read something real quickly. I'm sorry, guy. I'm sorry. Thunder, I never cut you off. Let me just read this from my guy in the chat. This is from a basic search. Where's my guy at? Where's he at? So one genetic. This is what this Rastafarian says, showing that white man on the screen. Haile Selassie. Show one scientific article that Yemen and our genetics is similar. All right? Now watch this.
All right.
Yemen's genetic profile. Yemenis today carry a mixture of Middle Eastern and African ancestry. Studies show high frequencies of what? J1 haplogroup common in the Arabian Levant. They show.
Hey, you're not sharing. You know that, right?
Hold on. No, I'm not sharing.
All right.
E1, B1. As a matter of fact, let me share it. Yemen is today. I ain't gotta share this. This is just basic stuff. This ain't no source or nothing. E1B1A and E1B1B, which are of African origin. The woman lineages, maternal lineages common in sub-Saharan Africa. Let me say that again. The mtDNA L lineages, maternal lineages are common where? In sub-Saharan Africa. The African ancestry in Yemen is mostly explained by Red Sea contact, trade, migration, and the Indian Ocean slave trade. The African American genetic profile, we already know what that is. The overlap. Both Yemenis and African Americans carry E haplogroup lineages and mtDNA lineages. In Yemen, African lineages are present because of gene flow from Africa into Arabia. So this guy that talked about the 3,000, he need to bring that source that said 3,000 years ago. This is what you see. This is again trying to knock out Western Central African history and try to connect it to Arabia instead of saying Africans migrated there. They can't say that. It has to be Arabs migrated to give us the E marker. This guy's a looney tune. More
so what you should ask Garfield is this. If that being the case, do you read Arabic? Because if it was, then it would be written in Arabic, correct?
Facts. In Yemen, African lineages are present because of gene flow from Africa into Arabia. In African American, those lineages reflect their direct West Central African ancestry, not Yemeni. Geneticists find the closest matches for African American haplogroups in Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, Senegal, and Angola, not Yemen. Some groups argue that because African American share lineages also found in Yemen, this proves Israelite or Arabian origin. But in reality, the E1B1A is overwhelmingly Western Central African. The E1B1B is very rare among African Americans. The overlap reflects sheer deep African ancestry, not direct descent from Yemen. The key studies: Trombetta, 2015, detailing the branching of the haplogroup E. Schreiner, 2017, African Americans, Y-DNA and DNA lineages. Haber, 2019, Yemenis show African and mixture from the last 800 to 1,000 years, mainly from East Africa. Again, show that 3,000 year source. When you have it, jump on the panel, stop talking in my chat. Let's get it in. Get it. Look at this guy. I'll be back. When you going to show that 3,000 year history? You play too many games. Too many games. E1B1A Rastafarian. Look at this guy. This guy, I bet you he won't come on the panel. E1B1 is no E1B1A. 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 Well, anyway, let me move on to the passes on Charlie Clerk. Because I gotta piss off somebody today while I'm sick, man. I gotta piss off what's his name? Thunder. I gotta piss off Thunder today. I gotta piss Thunder off.
What, you gonna play Jamal? I mean, you can play Jamal, but you gonna have to. There are other people that you gonna have to.
I'm not worried about him. Wait, hold up. I got you, my brother. I got you.
Yeah, you can go. You can go to Africa. You can go to London. You can go anywhere. Everybody praising, giving props to Charlie Kirk today.
I don't know why.
Well, I know why, and they know why. You ain't gotta know.
Dímelo, papi, ¿cómo tú estás?
They know. You ain't got to know. Charlie Kirk almost can lie in state. Almost. That's how big he was. Y'all don't know that.
Well, he was. I didn't know he was this popular. I didn't even know the guy.
I know you don't. You black. Y'all don't know that.
Well, you know him and you black. So what are you saying?
I'm not y'all though. I ain't y'all, bro. I got E1B1B or something. I ain't got that A.
You ain't got that A? Oh, you
y'all
do something else?
Yeah, y'all A's don't know nothing, bro. I'm a B.
Mika, you gonna stay on the stage and hear him say that, man, and don't say nothing? Mika, oh, you got Mika silent today, man. You the first man to shut Mika up.
You can be whatever you want.
Oh man. Did somebody hack Mika, man? Somebody hack Mika, man.
Yeah, Jamal did his thing, but it's several people that they gave him props, bro. Black pastors. I ain't talking about no white boy. Several black pastors.
Matt Rick said he ain't black. Shout out to King Simon in the building, man. Veteran in the building, man. Let me play this video right here for y'all real quick so we can get it in. We're gonna get it in today.
Sunday, you outside? Sound like there you go.
Oh my bad, I'm driving from Alabama.
Be careful on that 20, boy. Be careful on 20.
Nah, I'm over here in Marietta right now, but yeah, I got to go to Stone Mountain, so yeah, I'm definitely got to hit 20 at some point.
Careful on 20, brother.
What you looking for, Garfield?
Mika, what y'all doing? What y'all doing over there in New York? And y'all finna have that. Y'all finna let that sand monkey.
Yo, get out of here. Yo, get out of here, bro. What are you talking about Mandami like that? Mandami's a beast, man. What are you talking about, bro? You crazy, yo.
You real disrespectful, Thunder.
Yo, you crazy, yo. That's sad.
Oh, so I could call us niggas, and y'all stick with that. I call them a sand monkey. Everything is a problem.
Hold on. Who you calling sand monkey? You calling this guy sand monkey? Who you calling a sand monkey? This guy here?
Yeah, that nigga there.
Dragged Mahmoud Khalil, a Palestinian legal permanent resident of this country whose wife is 8 months pregnant, out of his Columbia University apartment. As of this morning, he's in ICE custody in Louisiana. Secretary of State Marco Rubio posted that they're revoking Mahmoud's green card. Let's be clear.
Good.
He hasn't been any crime. He was kidnapped by the Trump administration because he participated in campus protests at Columbia against the genocide in Gaza. Palestinian students at Columbia are now reported to be terrified of coming to class and are locking themselves up
There
in
you go. Good. Kick him out.
assault on the First Amendment, a sign of advancing authoritarianism under Trump and something that must be opposed by all of us. On Saturday, Trump's immigration agents dragged Mahmoud Khalil.
I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I got
Kick
what's
that
up,
illegal
what's up,
nigga. You got legal. Kick him out.
what's up, King Simon?
Salami and bacon, my brother.
All right.
What's up?
How you doing?
What's up?
Not much, not much.
I can't hear you. Hold on, I can't hear you. Yeah, Garfield, what going?
I'm here.
So Garfield, what's your take? What Wesley Muhammad says that Arabs have African origins also.
Well, that's. I mean, if you look at it from a evolution point of view, or out of Africa theory, of course,
okay,
they have to come from. But modern day Arabs, no. Modern day Arabs, no.
I mean, I know they all.
The screen is completely black.
Some of them have E1B1, E1B1A, but they're mostly E1B1B and J1 markers. They don't have African American or African sub-Saharan African DNA.
Right. So yeah. So
not sub-Saharan African DNA.
Okay. So you have to go way back to find that. In other words.
Way back, yeah. Millions of years.
Yeah. All right.
Thousands of years, yeah.
No problem. I just want to make, because he did say that too in his book. So I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? All right. Bless up, man. Just passing through.
All right. Cool. All right. Anything you got coming up?
Yeah. I'm interviewing tonight. No, this coming Tuesday. I'm interviewing the first melanated woman that wrote for SNL and one of the first Black impressionists. This coming Tuesday, and of course, I'll be interviewing. I got to get you on my show, Today's Consciousness in the Conscious Community, Garfield. I got A.A. Rashid. I'm working on Sonetta, but I got A.A. Rashid coming in to talk about the history of this madness.
Boy.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about the history of this madness. So I need to get Garfield on this because him and I go back 30-some years. So, yeah. All right, Garfield.
Facts.
All right, one love, yeah. Also, I got an event coming up in Nicholas, Brooklyn, my 30th anniversary in promotion and production. So I'll be celebrating 30 years in Nicholas with Dr. Sabi's wife, Ma'a, who started the business with him. I'll be there, and Abundance Child. So I'm bringing the sisters in, and Screechy Down and Red Fox gonna come by just to talk to the audience about what we did in reggae back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, man. I'll be there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, you know what, Garfield, you need to say some words too, man. I need to bring you in. I need you. That's 2 days. It's gonna be November 15th and November 16th.
I should be.
I'll send you. You know, you're always on my guest list, Garfield. So you know I go.
All right, peace and love. So you see, they don't know I was a part of the conscious community before we have nowadays conscious. They don't know that. They don't know that part of Garfield.
Yo, y'all don't know Garfield used to bodyguard Luciano, the reggae artist. See, people don't know that. You know what I'm saying? And he was in the Nation of Islam. You don't know that.
Movies, used to bodyguard Khalid, used to bodyguard Farrakhan.
All of them. Exactly.
Folks. Yep.
Exactly. We had reggae artists. We had entertainers. I was in bodyguarding Tupac when he was in the hospital. I was with him for 48 hours for the court dates and all that. So we was on them streets doing what we had to do, man. So enough respect, man. Enough respect. Always, Garfield. You know what, deal. All right?
All right. Bless up, my brother.
One love.
Somebody I got to put on the Hot 97 Power 105 screen today. This guy right here, Rastafarian. You're not a real Rastafarian, first of all, because Rastafarians are normally peaceful, loving, humble people. Now, he says there's no sickle cell E1B, B1A found in Yemen. That is a falsehood. All right. So this is what I'm going to do. Before I get into what I'm going to do, I'm going to go Google. I'm going to go to Google. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to share the screen with the family so everybody could see what I'm doing. So you don't see I'm doing anything extra. Now, we're going to put sickle cell trait in Yemen. All right. Now, look at this. I Google it. Look at what comes up. Now, the AI responded, right? The sickle cell trait is prevalent in Yemen. Now, I never said it. AI said it. But if you want a source on it, it says right here, characteristics of sickle cell anemia in Yemen. Is that proof that sickle cell is in Yemen? I'm talking to the panel right now. Do I need to press on it and read it?
I don't think most people wouldn't understand the importance of that one phrase, that one word, prevalent. Look at what prevalent means. Look that up. Google that right quick, Mark.
Remember, he said that there's no look on the screen. He said there's no sickle cell. No, let me just Google what prevalent means so he could.
Yeah, let's go there. Yeah.
Let's see if he's gonna admit it though. Let's see if he's gonna admit it.
He will never.
Look at him in the chat now. It prevalent means widespread in a particular area or at a particular time. That's
so let's plug it in. Let's plug that in now.
That is a complete falsehood. This is what he said. It's a complete falsehood, right? Now watch this.
So
he says E1B1A. Let's go to E1B1A now in Yemen. He said it's a complete falsehood. E1B1A in Yemen. Look at this now. Maybe we need to look up this word significant. A genetic study March of this year, March of this year indicated that. Well, that's E1B1B. No, my bad. Let me not jump in. E1B is really E1B is a subclass more commonly found in Yemen and is abroad. Okay, let's see how much is it. Let me not jump the gun. All right, let me come down here. E1B1A. Its presence in Yemen, present at low frequencies, introduced though later migrations and the Red Sea slave trade. Go back to 800, 1,000 years ago, but it's there. The presence is there. Do we need to look up what presence mean? Presence in Yemen. There you go. All right, now let me wait for him to come on the screen and put that I was wrong. Watch this now. Look at this. I admit that. Now do E1B1A. I did E1B1A too. So let's see you admit. Now you a true Rasta. No, I can't say nothing about Haile Selassie for a month. Look at him now. Oh, in low frequency. So what? It's there. It's there. And if you look up the mtDNA for Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, it's gonna be higher. Because those Arabs wanted those African women there, buddy. Because they know that African, you know what, is very good.
Hey, brother-in-law. Brother-in-law, how can he bang on?
It ain't my Sabbath. I could say that.
Brother-in-law, how can Garfield bang on Haile Selassie and not bang on Baaba Heru? How that work?
Oh man, listen. Let me get to this because you trying to get me to bang on my guy.
Brother-in-law, no, I'm not even asking you. I'm asking brother-in-law. How can he bang on Haile Selassie and not bang on Baaba Heru? Tell me how that works.
I mean,
we gonna bang on an easy target. We gonna bang on an easy target today. Charlie Kirk. We gonna bang on Charlie Kirk. That's an easy target. Easy work. Easy target. Akane, put the source in the back. Put the source in the back before you say a word. Put the source in the back, and I'll bring it on the screen when I'm ready for you. I'm gonna play this video right now. Put the source in the back of the 3,000 years ago, and boom, 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 right there. All right, we good to go. All right, let's hear this pastor. Bring it out. Here we go.
With folk who call them, I'm overwhelmed. With folk who call themselves Christian, because they invoke the name of Jesus and quote Bible from the Old Testament, but never live like Jesus, never love like Jesus, never talk like Jesus, never put their arms around folk like Jesus, never have any fruit of the Spirit, never try to live out the Sermon on the Mount. I am overwhelmed. And I don't celebrate anyone's murder. Charlie Kirk did not deserve to be murdered. But I'm overwhelmed to see the nation's flag fly at half staff for a man who was a proud racist and spent his entire life sowing seeds of division and hatred into this land.
Ladies and gentlemen, Reverend Dr. Howard John Wesley of Alfred Street Baptist Church.
And then these hypocrites with selective rage who are mad about Charlie Kirk but didn't say anything about Melissa Hortman and her husband when they were gunned down in their living room. Tell me that I ought to have compassion for the death of a man who never showed compassion or respect for my life. Y'all, there's nowhere in Bible we are told to honor evil. And I know I'm gonna get in trouble for this, but how you died does not redeem how you lived. Your death does not make you a hero. It does not make you one who should be honored. It does not make you one who should be respected. I can be sorry about your death, but not celebrate your life. You did not live. And I'm overwhelmed. It's tiring being black in America. It's exhausting defending your existence everywhere you go. It's an assault on my identity to keep seeing this nonsense in our nation, and I am overwhelmed.
And he brought the house down with this sermon. Wesley was not alone, though.
I didn't know that much about Charlie Kirk before, and so I did begin to get into what he taught. And I just have to tell you that everything I read opposed my understanding of Jesus' teaching. And I want to say that, my understanding of Jesus' teaching. I'm not saying we can't have a discussion about that. I would encourage that. But the way I'm understanding what Jesus taught and what Charlie Kirk was teaching seemed to be in juxtaposition. Here's just some examples. He said this: Black women do not have the processing power to be taken seriously. You have to steal a white person's slot. He said, I can't stand the word empathy. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term and does a lot of damage. He said, we made a huge mistake when we passed the Civil Rights Act of the 1960s. Martin Luther King was awful. He's not a good person. He said, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. He said, LGBTQ is a social contagion. I have 180 degrees opposed to every one of those statements. And I think Jesus would be too, but I'm not equating my consciousness by any means with that of Jesus. But just my understanding of Jesus' teaching, where the kingdom and the reign of God is about including everyone, not judging everyone, reaching out to the most vulnerable, not judging them, not putting them down, right? Not diminishing the image of God by treating other human beings as objects. I'm sorry. And you see, this is not confined nor originating with Charlie Kirk. And God bless his family and friends and all those who are mourning him. But this, his words, in some ways, may end up being elevated more because of the recent event. And even his followers are saying that.
And it left many across social media saying, wait, there are some pastors who can see the difference? Well, yes.
What is also tragic is they're trying to make him a martyr of the faith. Now, he did violently die, but he did not die for the faith. Not the faith I know, and not for the Jesus I know. But let's be clear. He wasn't a martyr for the faith. People can say that all they want. And he can call himself a Christian if he wants. But you can tell a tree by the fruit it bears and not by the title it wears. Listen, I'm still looking for evidence that he was a follower of the sable skin sandals wearing carpenter from Galilee. I don't see no evidence. What I see is what he said he was. And that was, he was a white Christian nationalist. And I put it in quotation marks because I don't know how you could be a white nationalist and a Christian at the same time, just like I don't know how you could be a Klansman and a Christian at the same time. Because a white nationalist is someone who has a vision of America that it is to be a white ethno state, which does not include you or other marginalized people who are brown, who are gay. Y'all not saying nothing here. Who are women. In fact, he said some stuff that lets you know that he can't be following the Jesus we know. Talking about be careful about these marauding. He said, in a lot of his rhetoric, marauding black youth who are out to hurt white people. And now HBCUs have had to suspend classes because he got shot. And I want to know, wait a minute now, what? We ain't had nothing to do with that. Why you attacking HBCUs? He had the nerve to call the names of several prominent black women who are brilliant beyond debate. 8 degrees between all of them, Ivy League graduates. And he had the nerve to say about them that they don't have the mental capacity to process information in a way that you would take them seriously. And he dropped out of a community college. You can't go around twisting statistical data so that you could promote tropes, racist tropes about the inherent inferiority and criminality of black people and say that you follow Jesus.
Dr. F. Bruce Williams spoke on it in a must-watch video as well.
Charlie Kirk is not a martyr for Christ, despite the claims on social media this week from the right. While we condemn his murder and the gun violence that led to it, we must also reject MAGA's efforts to portray him as something he was not. Kirk preached hatred and division as a white Christian nationalist, which contradicts Jesus' teachings. He preached anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, racism, misogyny, and homophobia. Jesus said that the greatest commandment was to love. Kirk preached that empathy was weakness and that gun deaths are the cost of freedom. His death is tragic, and I'm thankful that the shooter has been apprehended. But the media should stop portraying him as a man of peace just following Jesus when he was anything but. And yes, it dishonors the United States to award a white Christian nationalist the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Shout out to Reverend Chuck Curry here. For many following the faith.
Can I be so vulnerable and honest? I think this week has been one of the most challenging weeks for me as a Christian. And I mean conflicting in a way of feeling like my Christianity is turning on some of the identities that I hold so dear to myself. Sure, Charlie Kirk didn't physically harm anyone directly, but indirectly, that man did so much harm. And he did it proudly. He wore his hate on his chest. And I know how I'm supposed to respond as a Christian to this. I know how I'm supposed to respond. And I feel like to do what I know that I'm supposed to do feels like I'm turning my back on these other identities that are so important to me. Because I know I am not the only Christian who has thought this week. But I just kept thinking, The day the man with the mustache passed away, if Jesus was on this earth, what would Jesus do? And I know what he would do, but I kept also thinking, would he have done it so easily? Or would he also feel the same conflict that I'm feeling? That man did so much harm to me and to people I love and to people I don't know. That man did so much harm. But I know that I'm supposed to love thy enemies. How do you
Hey, man,
love
how much more we got, Garfield? How much longer we got,
so
bro?
many people so bad?
How much longer we got, my boy?
Hold on 1 second. Don't mean to interrupt.
All right, go ahead. I just asked you.
My friend at the bottom, Rastafari, who conceded twice. There's an Arab Indian kind of sickle cell that is different from West African. You see, when you get beat up and you're trying to make a comeback, so let's Google again. Sickle cell trait from West Africa in Yemen. Genetic studies have confirmed the sickle cell trait was introduced to Yemen from West Africa, with the Benin haplotype being the predominant. Do we need to look up predominant? Predominant variant. What happened is malaria, people who live near rivers and near ponds and all that stuff, Arabia has a lot of that. India has a lot of that. So what happened is those areas have mosquitoes. That's a different variant than the one that's from Benin. This is why you can differentiate from Benin, Cameroon.
That's a different variant.
Let me mute up my brother-in-law have me in the background. All right. So to my brother Rastafarian with Haile Selassie's picture, I think you need a darker picture, by the way, because he looks white in that picture. And you're screaming black power in the audience with a white man as your picture. I don't know how that works. But just to answer your question, and I'm done with you for today. Done with you. Now let me get on my brother Thunder. It's all you, brother. It's all you.
We good? We finished with that exhibition?
After this, I deal with Akani. But go ahead. It's all on you. Go ahead.
All right. No. Do you have the contrary? You gave the con. Do you have the pro?
What are you talking about? The pastors?
Yeah. Anybody.
You mean supporting some people supporting Charlie Kirk?
There you go. You gave us a con. Can you give us the pro?
Hold on 1 second. Let me give you the pro right now. Hold on. Let me. I got you. You know what? You're right. I gotta be fair. I gotta be fair and balanced like Fox. I got you.
That's fine. And I hope that I see the names of those people on there. Hey, I wish them Godspeed. Matter of fact, Brother Allah, this for you, my boy. The great Louis Farrakhan. Greatest black leader we've ever had on this earth. Period.
I disagree.
Oh, that's wild. All right, good. Okay, good. Now, all right, that's good. No, this is a good thing. In the event of his passing, what is going to be said about Louis Farrakhan?
You made this premise of the question to ask me. You made this premise of the question to ask me as if I was a member of the NOI, which I am not. I don't perceive any gentleman
I'm not talking about no NOI. I'm not talking about no NOI. I asked you, in the event that Louis Farrakhan passes away, what will be said? What will be said? What will be said about it?
I can't find nobody passing supporting Charlie Kirk, bro.
Amongst African Americans?
Brother Law.
Yes.
In the event that Louis Farrakhan passes away, what will be said about him? Not by black people, not just black people, anybody. Everybody. What they gonna say?
That he was a charismatic man. Very charismatic.
And what else? He was charismatic. What else?
And that, for the most part, he saved a lot of people. He saved a lot of brothers and sisters' lives.
White folks will say he was a hater. He hated the Jews. He wished all this crap.
Brother Law, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna act like you ain't saying this, right? I'm acting like you just playing crazy. So let me ask you again. In the event that Louis Farrakhan passes away, God forbid, what y'all say? What the Islam say? What they say on that?
What do you mean? What does Islam say?
On the God forbid thing, what's the word for that? What's the word for God forbid, man?
Inshallah, or I don't know.
Anyway, in the event that he passes away, what will be said about Louis Farrakhan? That's an easy one.
No, I mean, it's not easy. I just don't want to say that. Okay, I get what you. They'll say that he's a hateful man. He preached hatred towards white people. He did all the above. Now go forward, Tom. Linda, let's go forward, Tom.
All right. So Garfield playing that. Okay, in the event that Captain Desariat passed away, God forbid, what would be said about it?
That he hate white folks. That he hate this, he hate that, he hate all Gentiles, and this and that.
All right.
All these brothers that you're spewing, for the most part.
He hate black folks. He hate Africans. He hate that. Yeah, that was. Yeah, they gonna go. All right, good. So them saying that about Charlie don't move me. I ain't bothered by that. I ain't bothered by it. You gonna have people who say something negative about good people all the time. That's what's gonna happen. When Trump died, they're gonna dog him out too. It's just gonna happen. When Martin Luther King died.
Okay, now Thunder. Now you know brothers and sisters is watching this. They're gonna call you Uncle Ruckus.
For what?
Thunder don't care.
No, they call me that now. I'm saying what you mean? Give me something.
Because they're gonna make it seem as if you sitting there preaching and pushing power towards the white man or the Caucasian gentleman. I don't want to say white.
I'm asking you. No, my point. Well, I said my point. My point is, people are going to say negative stuff about people all the time if they don't like them.
Indeed,
that's what's going to happen. But
yes,
you're going to have me. You heard me give praise to Louis Farrakhan. I say he one of the greatest black leaders that ever lived. In my opinion, he probably he in the top 5.
Facts.
Well, I got Elijah Muhammad number 1. I got Martin Luther King number 2. I got Brother Malcolm.
Brother Malcolm.
I don't know if I can do. I can't put Brother Malcolm over Farrakhan. I can't do it.
Bumped your head. You bumped your head. You bumped your head, brother. There would be no Farrakhan. There would be no Louis Farrakhan if it wasn't no Malcolm.
Yeah, that's fine. I got Frederick Douglass.
You can't say that. You can't say that. You can't say that.
I know.
Yes, we can.
Nope.
Nah.
We could debate that, brother Law. No, sir.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Let's say that no. Okay.
He didn't join because of Malcolm X. He didn't join the nation because of Malcolm X. He joined because of Elijah Muhammad.
Okay, Garfield, let's be truthful and let's be honest. Yeah. Do you feel that if Malcolm was still alive, he would be more influential towards African Americans and Africans across the world more than Farrakhan or not?
No.
Are you crazy?
No. You see, that's you know why? You know why? Because remember, all right, Warith D. Muhammad, right? When Warith D. Muhammad took over, he had over 1 million Muslims following him, right? Before he died. Farrakhan only probably had probably 100,000. Well, why Warith D. Muhammad couldn't call 1 million to Washington, D.C.? He wouldn't get nobody, not even 10,000 would have showed up. The issue is, just because somebody has the followers don't mean they have the masses. Farrakhan had the masses. I don't think Malcolm X had the masses when he left. What happened is he was basing it off his popularity with the Nation of Islam. But you remember, he was bringing black people back to Islam, Orthodox Islam, which wasn't popular at the time. He made it popular in a sense for people to join it. But remember, when Warith Muhammad took over in 75, that's when the Muslims really started to take a hold here in America as far as popularity, because Islam now joined in hands with the Muslim community. So I'm telling you, bro, just because he joined Islam don't mean he would have still been the same guy under Islam. I don't believe that. We could have Well, hold on. Remember your first point, though. Remember your first point. If it wasn't for Malcolm, there would be no Farrakhan. Farrakhan joined with his wife, 1555 or around that time period, because of him hearing Elijah Muhammad. He didn't join because of Malcolm. He was under Malcolm's will when he joined the nation, but he was still representing Elijah Muhammad. So don't say that Farrakhan, and then from 1965, Farrakhan built up, became the guy at number 7. He spoke to Randall's Island, over 80,000 came out in 1971 or 72. So he was always a popular guy. Farrakhan was just a popular guy as the second in command. But I don't think because of Malcolm dying and leaving the nation, then that you could say he made Farrakhan, because Farrakhan.
Brother Allah, let me ask you one more question.
Hold on. What I want to say, hold on, Thunder. I'm going to answer your question. What I want to say is this, and this is what I keep emphasizing to Thunder as well as yourself, Garfield. I really can't speak in regards for the NOI as being brothers and sisters of the Ummah.
Right.
When I say Ummah, amongst the Islamic family.
I got that.
Because of all the principles, as you once being a follower of the NOI.
Right. Definitely.
A lot of it is bitter and shirk. So
let me
from
ask
that
you
standpoint, yes, sir.
When Malcolm X passed away, unfortunately, when he was taken from this earth, what did they say about Malcolm X?
The same exact thing I just said about all these other brothers.
Prince of Hate. It came out that afternoon, that evening. A newspaper came out. The Prince of Hate is dead.
Yes.
The chickens came home to roost. All this stuff. All that. You remember that?
I remember it very well.
Yeah. So that don't, Garfield don't bother me. That don't move me. I'm good on that.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
they say negative stuff out here.
So with that being the case, it seems like they're serving as the purpose of the other side of the coin in regards for racist ideologies, racist premises, things of that nature. Can we say that on both sides there's good attributes as well as bad attributes? And wouldn't it be best? Wouldn't it be best to capitalize or to emphasize more so on the great qualities that these brothers had?
I agree.
That passed away. With that being the case, what great quality did this white gentleman have?
What great quality? Number one, he engaged in civil debate. He brought thousands and hundreds of thousands of people together.
I'm going to ask the question once again, brother. I'm going to ask the question.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to ask the question once again.
All right.
What great attribute did the gentleman bring to the world that was more so beneficial for the African American in this diaspora?
Now we're moving the goalpost. All right, that's fine. You can do that too. You can move the goalpost. I'm used to black people do that every day. Now, so as far as I don't know why he should even have to do. Why would okay, good. I just asked you why would you even depend on a white person to do that anyway? But since you are dependent on white people, like most black people are, by the way, in my opinion, I can bring it back to what I just said. Engage in civil debate. Black people, Garfield, Sonetta, for the most part, has got a community together to engage in civil, mostly civil debate. Mostly. So if you're gonna say what qualities, what characteristics, what lessons did he lead? Yes, I think that's one. And also number two, accountability. He held black fathers accountable for not being in their kids' life. He held black mothers accountable for how they raising these kids. It was several things that he held accountable for engaging in DEI practices instead of earning on merit. I think I can end with those three. Now, I think that directly answers your question.
You think you can end with those two?
Yeah, I think that was a direct answer to your question. Direct answer. And I put in a couple of slick shots in there while I was
there.
at.
You did. Yeah, you did.
But I directly answered your question. That's what he did. Accountability for black fathers, black mothers, black people killing each other every day. We terrorizing our own selves. Those are things he did. Abortion. Black women killing all these kids. He did that. That's what he did. Yes, he did.
Now, Thunder, I just want to say this to you. I want you to understand clearly that everything that you said wasn't under the premise to make somebody aware or to make somebody understand this or understand that. He did that essentially from an ill, disrespectful, and hateful standpoint.
Well, that's your opinion.
Message, that's a fact, Thunder. You cannot be serious, brother.
You can't make that a fact just because that's what you're saying. You can't make that no fact. You can't just make that up. That's no fact.
Furthermore than that, how can a gentleman not from our color cloth upbringing, things of that nature, speak upon us and endeavors in our community?
All right, let's do this then. How can a black person speak on what white people have done to black people? If that's what the game you're gonna play. White people should be speaking to white people. White people should be speaking to white people, and black people should be speaking to black people. Correct? According to you.
No, that's not according to me.
Okay, all right. I hope not.
No, that's
I hope not. I hope not. He got every right to speak on black people issues than we do. He got every right because we speak on white.
In the United States, yes, we do have. In the United States, yes, we all have the right of freedom of speech.
No, I'm talking about because black people do it to white people every day. We call them white supremacists, white whatever. Y'all do this every day. So he can speak on black people. Why he can't speak on black people? Because he white?
Hold on. We got somebody on. My brother Raswan. Raswan, what's up, bro? Raswan, what's up?
Greetings, am I audible?
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Yeah, first, shout out to you, Garfield. I want to give you your flowers on having that interview with Bart Ehrman. Good stuff. Yeah, per this sort of Charlie Kirk debate. First of all, I don't know why this gentleman Thunder's moving the goalpost. But I'll get to that in a second.
He's that's what he does, man. That's what he does.
It seems to be
he's a habitual goalpost mover.
Other law asked me a question,
Thunder,
and then the law moved the goalpost to black people. I didn't move the goalpost to black people. Don't do that, bro. I didn't do that. Brother Law did that.
No, what I did was I threw out the question first. Then I moved it to
not in reference to black
question. It was two different questions, Thunder. I concur with you 110% on the statement.
All right. Yeah, you moved the goalpost.
May I continue my submission respectfully?
Yes.
Go ahead,
yes, sir.
Thank you. My thoughts on Charlie Kirk real quick. May he rest in peace. He didn't deserve to die. But concerning him, I didn't find him intellectually compelling at all. I think he engaged in sort of rage baiting and low hanging fruit issues. I think he was fundamentally disingenuous, and he profited on being divisive and stoking contention rather than sort of galvanizing unity, which I think that sort of dovetails to the vignette Garfield played. When Thunder tries to make some false parallel with Farrakhan or whatever the case, he's missing the point. These pastors are speaking from the vantage point that Mr. Kirk professed to be a Christian, right? So there's a standard. Can someone mute up? I think it's Thunder. There's a standard, right, that quote unquote Christians are held to. And if you have many churches, perhaps the majority of churches in this country, exalting this individual Kirk as a genuine representation of quote unquote Christianity, that is sort of the measure in which he needs to be evaluated, right? So then the question is he a quote unquote genuine representation of Christianity? My issue with him are fundamental things he said that I feel are not consistent with Christian sort of conduct. Number one, I don't think he quote unquote led with love with his engagement, right? I think it's fair to dissent with people, to propagate your Christian ideals. But from my understanding, Jesus, all of this was contextualized in love. Love your enemy, etc., etc. I didn't see that with Kirk. I think he purposely stoked flames of division, particularly if I could finish, from a racial standpoint and one amongst the sexes, right? For instance, and this is just unequivocal sort of objective analysis. What he said about George Floyd was patently false. Patently false. 23, excuse me, at a Turning Point conference, he said, quote, MLK, Martin Luther King Jr., was awful. He was not a good person.
Hold on. Thunder, did he say that, Thunder?
Hey, I want to engage with Raz One when he finished.
No. I'm asking you right now. Did he say that about MLK is number 2?
Oh, he didn't say it. He better say it. I say it.
Yeah.
That nigga was no good man.
No, you said
go ahead and finish.
You said
MLK was not a good man. So go ahead and finish Raz One so we can talk. Go ahead.
So I just want to be clear to the audience. You have Charlie Kirk saying this. I would submit to you, I think MLK is one of the greatest personalities this country's ever produced, and he lived in the spirit of a Christian. Furthermore, the DEI thing, Charlie Kirk has a fundamental misunderstanding of DEI. It's diversity, equity, and inclusion. I don't know why he seems to sort of have a myopic analysis of DEI that specifically only targets Black folks, when if you look at the data, they are not 1, 2, 3, or 4 most prominent recipients of DEI. It's women, it's veterans, white women, veterans, the disabled, right? So again, this speaks to this sort of fixation with this undue criticism of Black folks, right? Why don't you, when you see any woman, why don't you have this sort of latent thought that they perhaps don't have the brain power for said position? Did you feel that way about Pam Bondi, Nikki Haley? We can go on and on and on. But no, it's specifically Black women, specifically one that are red meat to the conservative right, Ketanji Brown, Michelle Obama. I mean, despite your political sort of sensibilities, to indict their intellect, that's just patently disingenuous. You might not agree with their political stance or even sort of their broader sensibilities, but to indict them intellectually, these things are patently false. And I'll land here. If you really want, again, why do I say he engages with low fruit issues, rage baiting? I just implore the audience, just Google his debates at Oxford debate in Cambridge. He gets cooked. He gets cooked. We know over there's a rich intellectual sort of tradition in their collegiate atmosphere. He gets cooked. I just implore people to sort of look at those videos. Anyway, what's up, Dunda?
Okay, you finished? You finished round one?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me ask you a question. Same question I asked Brother Law. In the event of Louis Farrakhan passing away, what would be? No, nigga, don't laugh. What would be your obituary for Louis Farrakhan? Go ahead, tell me.
Yeah, I'm not taking the bait. This is an analysis on Charlie.
Hey, round one, I'm asking you a question. Now, I sat and listened. You told me to let you fit. I put it on mute. I listened. As a matter of fact, I even answered your question. You asked me, what did I think about Martin Luther King? I told you directly, and I put myself back on mute respectfully. You've been respectful. I've been respectful. So respectfully, my brother. Can you answer my question? In the event of Louis Farrakhan passing away, what would you write as his obituary? Go ahead, go. Now, if you don't go, we can just end it, and you could get a jump off, and then we can move on. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you asked me a question. I just, out of respect, let me answer. A couple things. This is obfuscating from the point. Charlie Kirk professed to be...
Round one.
Hey, Garfield,
I'm pretty sure that Louis Farrakhan ain't got nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. I'm asking you, in the event that Louis Farrakhan passes away, what would you write as his obituary? That's all I ask you. That should be, that's direct as you got to be. We ain't talking about Charlie Kirk. Respectfully, bro. Come on, answer.
What does he mean we're not talking about Charlie Kirk? Well, please don't interrupt me. I haven't interrupted you once. We just saw a vignette about Charlie Kirk. His funeral is today. The theme of the show, at least in part, is specifically about Mr. Charlie Kirk. This obfuscation to try to talk about Farrakhan is mere deflection. I put forth an argument, attack that argument. A, did Charlie Kirk profess to be evangelical Christian? If so, yes. What is the standard in which they operate? C, did he uphold the ethos of being a Christian? And D, the specific things I said that he professed that are patently false. Why don't you address any of those points? Why are we talking about Farrakhan?
So you're saying that you're refusing to engage, right? Now what you doing?
No, I'm engaging.
You're trying to compare apples and oranges is what he's saying.
Yeah,
Brother Law, I'm asking him, do you refuse to engage in the question that I asked you? That's a yes or no. You ain't got to. You're a grown man.
Yeah, the question's not relevant to what we're discussing.
So you said you refuse to engage, right?
Hey, Garfield, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Right.
Y'all are grown adults, man. Y'all can figure that out, man.
Yeah. I'm asking him a question. Why he running the Garfield? I'm asking you, do you refuse to engage in the question?
Garfield.
He running the Garfield again.
I mean, he's the host. Garfield, we're talking about Charlie Kirk. It's your room. It's your room, Garfield. I just think this is a diversion tactic. We're talking about Charlie Kirk. We're talking about what these various pastors say. If I may, I'm speaking to Garfield. I think we should engage that specifically.
I like this nigga, Brother Law. He good. He's good.
If I may, this sort of impulse to import Farrakhan into the discussion is only going to muddy the waters and diverge from this sort of critique of Charlie Kirk. So I'm appealing to you, Garfield. If you wanted to go in that direction, I'll briefly entertain him. I don't think it's relevant at all, but it's your show, Garfield.
Hey, teacher, tell him don't even worry about it. We can skip it. Now, being Charlie Kirk, you want to engage about Charlie Kirk being a good old Christian, right? Was he a good Christian? How would I know if he's a good Christian or not? I don't know. I don't know nothing about how he lived. I don't know nothing about Charlie Kirk other than his debate and his viewpoints on different current events in the United States. What was your next thing you want me to ask?
Can we show all the good things we talked about?
So real
Yes,
quick,
that's what I'm
real
Mika,
quick.
that's what I'm just trying to figure out. I'm just trying to figure that out myself, Mika.
Say it again, Mika.
I said we could show all the good things he's been talking about. You know, we only know him by the stuff that he said. You know, we don't know all that other stuff.
Right.
And to be honest, and Thunder, to truthfully be honest about it, let's be really honest about it and just address the elephant in the room. As him being a so-called Christian, that being the case, we know as well as anybody else that Southern Belt and Christians that's in the South is entirely different than the Christians that's up here in the North. Because that whole Southern Belt through Atlanta, Mississippi, New Orleans, and all of that is all based on racism, white power, and racism.
Brother, I would categorically disagree. But to get back, what else you want me to address, Raz One?
The truth was it not the truth?
I don't want no more question, Raz One. I want you to tell me what else that you wanted me to address.
Doesn't he invoke that a Christian should have temper?
Now he's talking about Paul. See what I'm saying? But when I bring up Louis Farrakhan, it's a problem. I want you to tell me what are the other things that you want me to address about Charlie Kirk. We talking about Charlie Kirk, not Paul. Come on.
St. Paul was seminal to Christianity.
Now we talking about St. Paul again. Now, I want you to see this nigga. Now, I gave him a chance, and I even addressed what he wanted me to address. He said, talk about Charlie Kirk being a good white Christian. I said, I don't know if you're a Christian or not. I don't know the way he lived. I don't know nothing about him. He could have been an adulterer like Martin Luther King. He could the good old-fashioned good black Christian Martin Luther King. Screwing all them girls on Coretta Scott King back behind their back. He could have been a good black Christian. I don't know. I do know that. I mean, a good white Christian compared to if you want to do it like that. I don't know nothing about Charlie Kirk's background.
Thunder, to be honest, Thunder, to be honest.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second, brother Law. My bad. Let me say this and show my face on the screen.
Yes.
Thunder, if this guy wasn't a Christian, would you be saying anything about him?
Who?
Charlie Kirk.
No, he brought up Christian. Raz One brought up.
Thunder, you know. Turn on your camera, nigga. Turn on your goddamn camera. I'm mad right now. Nigga, you gonna tell me my face. You gonna tell me, Thunder, I know you for over 4 or 5 years. You gonna tell me if this man wasn't a Christian, you be having this conversation in Golfy's channel right now?
Let me ask you a question.
The only reason why you are, because he's your Christian brother. The only
Let me ask you a question.
Where the hell am I buying?
Let me ask you.
Only thing is the damn Bible. Nothing else. You know it's true. That's why
Let me ask you a question, Brother Law. Brother Law, let me ask you a question.
No,
who was the person?
My question. No,
I answered your question already. Now, Brother Law.
What I'm saying, hold on, Thunder. Before I got stopped by Garfield, what I was going to say to you is this: I hear how you keep speaking about Malcolm, and I hear how you spoke about not Malcolm. Excuse me, I apologize for that. Martin Luther King.
Oh, Martin Luther King. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Do you feel, as a fellow traveler, that that's right to speak about another brother within your brotherhood?
I'm not talking about a traveler. I'm talking about Martin Luther King, the late great Martin Luther King,
as a brother crossing across them burning sands like you, brother. You shouldn't talk that way about your fellow brother.
That ain't got nothing to do with him being a good, clean Christian adulterer. That ain't got nothing to do with it.
Christian, keyword.
Christian. A good, clean, black, nigga Christian adulterer. That's what he was.
So here's, if I may, and just.
No, nigga, you may not. I asked you flat out. Hey, can you tell me what else you want me to address? And you refuse. Now, do you want to tell me what else you want me to address?
Hey Garfield, I know that's your homie, but I mean the
My
fact
home. Hold on, my nigga.
I gave you give you carte blanche to just
Homie.
interrupt people and speak over people. I'm just
Go ahead.
curious.
But no, what I'm telling you is, everybody heard me ask you, what else do you want me to talk about in reference to Charlie Kirk? I've been fair to you. You ain't been fair to me. So that's fine. I let it go. So what else do you want me to address with Charlie Kirk for the 10th time?
Yeah, so here's the issue. This notion, you say you can't judge if he was a Christian or not. Essentially, you didn't know him personally. I'm paraphrasing. If you paid attention to the vignette Garfield played of the various preachers and pastors, they're speaking in response to many other churches sort of exalting.
What else do you want me to address? You talking about pastors? I'm talking about you. You wanted me. You stopped me. You said you was not going to respond to me asking you about Louis Farrakhan. You refused. I said, fine. Wipe it off the table. You want me to talk about Charlie Kirk. That's what you said. I addressed what he said, how I feel about him as a Christian. I don't know him him personally. I don't know nothing about Charlie Kirk. I don't know I don't know his teachings. Do you know how many Christian denominations there are that teach totally different stuff? The Jehovah's Witness don't teach what a Baptist teach. Everybody's different, but they all Christians, bro. I can't tell you about that. I'm asking you, what else do you want me to address with Charlie Kirk? If you ain't got nothing, then we can just move on.
Can I speak now without interruption? Appreciate it.
Hold on. What is TDS? He said talk about TDS in the black community. What's that?
You're talking about Trump derangement syndrome. Go ahead, Erasmus. What else you want me to talk about?
Trump derangement syndrome. I got you.
What else you want me to talk about with Charlie Kirk, bro? Come on.
Hey Garfield, can I speak without him constantly interrupting me?
Go ahead, my brother.
Appreciate it.
Go ahead, my brother.
Appreciate it.
That's great.
And I think you're sort of propagating the same sort of misinformation that leads you to quote unquote think MLK is an awful man. You said he was a serial adulterer. You can't prove that. The only thing you can appeal to is alleged FBI tapes that
who Martin Luther King?
Yeah.
Now why are we even going there though?
No. Hold on. I'll tell you.
You asked me was Martin Luther King a good man, nigga. You don't remember?
Garfield, if I may.
You don't think he was a good man? You said
he stopped two. He wasn't no good man.
Well, you said he stopped two.
Can I, real quick? The reason we're going there is because I think that's one of the most egregious things Charlie Kirk said. He said MLK was an awful man.
Awful. So cheat on your wife.
If I could finish.
You're an awful person.
If I could finish.
Oh, hold on, Raswan. So if you balance out, you know what, Raswan, finish up, Raswan. You know what?
Yeah, I appreciate it. So he's claiming MLK was a serial adulterer. Karate Scott King disagrees. She said she believed her husband was faithful. The only quote unquote evidence Thunda and Mr. Kirk could appeal to are alleged FBI tapes that were never released. Now we know during this time period, the FBI, per declassified documentation, engaged in COINTELPRO. Part of that, per the FBI, was disinformation, literally with the express purpose of character assassination. We know this is unequivocally true. So, excuse me if I hold in deep skepticism something emerging from the FBI concerning a civil rights leader such as MLK that is sort of propagating this type of insidious rumor because it's not been substantiated. So again, when we have people like Thunda who's supposed to be a Christian, but he's bearing false witness against his Christian brother, MLK, I find that a problem. Furthermore, when we have Charlie Kirk doing it, I find it a greater problem because he says, oh, I can't know Kirk is a Christian, blah, blah, blah. Fair, your Bible says no man truly knows another man's heart, but you can judge a man by his fruit. So the question is, what kind of fruit is Mr. Kirk producing? Did he produce? He propagated in lies. He propagated in racial division and division amongst the sexes. Unequivocally, I gave 3 examples that Dunda never addressed because he's too busy trying to filibuster and speak over people, which isn't the conduct of a well-tempered Christian. Anyway,
you said that.
Hey, can I play this video real quick? Can I just play this
Hold
video?
on, man. Let me. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Thunder.
You said that
You get beat up today. You get beat up today, man. You get beat up.
I'm getting beat up.
You getting beat up, man. That's one.
I'm asking him a simple question. He running, and I got to engage what he saying. I'm being the bigger man. I'm let it go. I'm trying to address what he want me to address about Charlie Kirk. Now he addressing what I'm saying. No, tell me the stuff that you wanted me to address with Charlie Kirk. But that's fine. He too cowardice to do that. That's fine. Let's go with what he just said. Judge him by the fruit that the fruit that he bore. All right. As far as I know, Charlie Kirk has started, I don't know, thousands of chapters of Turning Point USA on different campuses. As far as I know, he professes to be a Christian. As far as I know, he ain't never done no harm to nobody. As far as I know. As far as I know, for the most part, he's a loving father, husband. These are things that, as far as I know, I don't know none about him other than him sitting in that front of that desk and sharing his opinions and debating with other people. That is not his lifestyle. That is not something that you would say it makes you a Christian or not. That ain't how that works. If that's the case, is Jamal Brown a good, clean Christian? Is that nigga that is that nigga in that pulpit that white person?
Hold on, guys.
Hold on, Fabio. Hold on. Is that nigga that Garfield played at the beginning that was running Charlie Kirk in the ground? Is he a good, clean Christian? Do we need to look in his closet to see?
Oh, man.
Jamal Brown.
Hold on. Let him finish. Come on, man. Everybody mute up.
Jamal Brown, that man had a child. He cheated on his wife with a 16-year-old, had a child by.
Oh, man.
And these are things that you want to...
Why are you talking about him, though? You defend him.
But he was the first one. He was the first out the gate.
No, I didn't play him.
I'm saying, no. He was the first nigga preacher out the gate. The dog Charlie Kirk out.
This guy today. Not playing games, man.
He was the first nigga preacher. Go ahead.
I'm going to have everybody on the panel. Hold on, Samuel. I'm going to have everybody agree with the Hebrew Israelites now. Y'all who hate the Hebrew Israelites, I guarantee y'all going to agree with this right now. Y'all going to agree with the Hebrew Israelites right now. Watch this.
Charlie Kirk. I'm going to be honest. I'm happy. You know why? Because now white people get to feel what we've been feeling when our leaders get killed.
That's right.
You see how they feel? The only difference with them is that they force the empathy on everybody else. Our people, they don't. When they killed the Black Panthers off, they didn't. The internet and not the internet at that time, but the mass media demonized them. Right. So the difference with Charlie Kirk is that the internet is trying to make us feel sorrowful for a man who's a bigot that we don't care about. So now I'm happy they get the feel. Now whether he lived or died, I don't care less. I could care less. If he would have survived, I don't care. If he would have died, I don't care. But the point is, I'm happy they get to feel the pain we felt when Martin Luther King died. They get to feel the pain we felt when Malcolm X died. They get to feel the pain that we felt when Fred Hampton died. They get to feel the pain that we felt when Emmett Till was killed. They get to feel the pain that we felt when Nat Turner was killed. How y'all feel about Charlie Kirk? I'm gonna be honest. I'm happy. You know why? Because now white people.
Anybody on the panel disagree with these guys?
I agree.
Hey, I ain't got no problem with that.
Listen to what I said. Does anybody disagree with what they said?
No, I ain't got no problem with that.
All right, cool. Now, Sabio, you want to say something, brother? Go ahead. Sabio, you want to say something, brother?
My mic was tripping. I just wanted to say, all this crying for the white man who got killed, you might as well cry for Abraham Lincoln too. Shit.
Okay.
There were white people shot in.
Let's move on to Jimmy Kimmel real quick and hear what everybody got to say.
Can I say one last point on Mr. Kirk?
Go ahead.
We had some new. I think with what we just saw from the sister from the Hebrew Israelites, it's another irony and absurdity for Mr. Kirk. Mr. Kirk said he said empathy. He feels empathy is a new age concept, and he doesn't like it. He essentially, is more inclined towards sympathy. I'm paraphrasing. Here's the irony again, as propping this Mr. Kirk up as a genuine representation of a Christian. Empathy is fundamental. It's a fundamental quality of Christianity. Fundamental. Romans 12:15, rejoice with those who rejoice, weep with those who weep. The parable of the Good Samaritan, right? The fundamental edict from Christ, love your neighbor as you love yourself. I can go on and on and
supposedly wept for Lazarus.
Exactly. So we have an irony here. Empathy is fundamental, I would submit to you, foundational to the Christian notion, right? Paul says you're no longer Greek, Jew, man, woman, slave, freeman, right? This is this notion that we are one people, right? That means you enjoy a similar experience, et cetera, et cetera. And from that standpoint, empathy is a central sort of relationship we have to interact with each other, right? So for Mr. Kirk to go and say he thinks it's a new age concept, that's in direct conflict with the ethos of Christianity.
Do those black niggers that you just had in that pulpit, did they show empathy to Charlie Kirk's wife?
Nigga right
To Charlie Kirk's wife? Did they show empathy to his children? Did they show empathy to? Listen, bro.
Garfield?
Yeah, okay.
Can I finish?
Thunder, hold on, Thunder. Why you ain't calling Charlie Kirk white nigga? Why you ain't calling white nigga? Everybody a black nigga. Come on, bro. What's poppin', bro? Why you so mad, bro? Hold up, Ross. Why you so mad, bro? I don't get it. You see,
What you mean why I'm mad?
You are
I ain't mad.
Isn't that a problem to me? Because I'm a universalist too. But the guy back to Egypt made a great point, right?
What did he say?
Why are we comparing this guy to Martin Luther King? Why are we doing that?
I didn't do that. That nigga Raz One did it. I didn't do that.
Oh man! All right, let me play this video real quick. This is Jimmy Kimmel. I'm moving on. If y'all want to talk about Charlie Kirk every now and then, that's fine. Let me get out of here. But this is what's her name? Candice responding to Jimmy Kimmel joke and what happened.
Lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish.
Okay, so that's what he said.
whether or not you think it was a insensitive joke, okay, I don't think that would have been the justification for saying that he now needs to donate to charity and lose his whole life. And this is what happened. He's taken off air.
We had some new
Yeah, what y'all think about this whole situation with Jimmy Kimmel? Another white guy we care so much about. Huh?
There's an
I say, what happened to freedom of speech?
Yeah, there's an irony in the sense that, again, the quote unquote joke was about Charlie Kirk. He's being upheld as a paragon of free speech. I think we need to be careful. What happened to Charlie Kirk had nothing to do with the First Amendment. It wasn't a quote unquote government.
We use words.
It wasn't a government agent who stifled his ability to speak freely. That was the consequence of violence. Now, what we're seeing with Jimmy Kimmel, and this is buttressed by the FCC chairman saying we can do this the easy or hard way in reference to ABC. That is the government imposing their will to stifle someone's quote unquote free speech under the guise of an insensitive joke or whatever the case might be. So again, we get, and this dovetails with the Christian sort of discussion. It's just rank hypocrisy, right? Trump and his crew, Elon Musk, these are supposed to be the greatest champions for free speech.
And they're supposed to be able to say whatever they want to say. But when
But if you
anybody says anything against them, you're supposed to be silenced. So the only people that should have free speech are the Republicans. They should be able to say all the wild shit they've been saying, because how did Trump win his elections? Making the wildest claims, saying anything, lying, people should drink bleach, inject sunlight.
I think it's a weird situation, real weird situation. But the FCC, buddy, I think he's suing. What do you call it right now? Let's check out this video right here real quickly.
They use bullets.
This is the man who shot Charlie Kirk. This is the man who shot Trump. This is the man who killed Melissa Hortman. This is the man who tried to kill John Hoffman. This is the man who tried to kill Paul Pelosi. This is the man who killed an Obama-appointed judge's son. This is the man who hired hitmen to kill Democrats. This is the man who ran over a left-wing activist and killed her. This is the man responsible for the Austin bombing. This is the man who sent pipe bombs to Obama, Biden, and Hillary Clinton. This is the man who shot Gabby Gifford. This is the man who tried to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer. Oh, and this man, and this man, and this man, this man, this man, this man, this man, this man, and this man. This is the man who set Josh Shapiro's house on fire. This is the Oklahoma bomber. This is his accomplice. These are just a few of the men who beat police officers on January 6th. I can think of a few things they have in common, and it's not the way they use their words or their left-wing politics.
Yep. We got 22 minutes. Anybody want to respond to that video? That video was for Thunder, but he's not here.
I ran him off. He was shook.
Yeah,
Man,
Thunder is thunder. Thunder is thunder.
All that Republican apologetics is sad. Like, this shit is disrespectful to him as a black man. I mean, I understand about caring about a person and the display of him being shot in public like that. I understand that was a bad look and his family is traumatized. But damn, it's over. A lot of people get shot in public all the time. His just happened to be in front of a college campus. And you happen to like him because he was a Republican a leader. You thought he was gonna be the next presidential candidate or something. That's really what it was.
I gotta play this video by Piers Morgan. I'm not gonna show it on the screen, but this is not in the topic, but this is about women and talking about their non-binary and all that shit. And my man Piers Morgan went in. Piers Morgan do some. This is called homopoliticus.news on Instagram. And I want y'all to check out this conversation. This is a weird, what I mean a weird conversation, a very weird conversation. I want y'all to check this out and tell me what y'all think.
trans woman. Why don't we let her answer?
I'm also transgender.
I know.
Okay. Go ahead.
Which trans are you, if you don't mind me
I'm
asking?
non-binary.
What does that mean?
I'm a non-binary person. I use they, them person.
So
Sorry, are we going to spend? Do we really want to spend the rest of this discussing my personal?
You're the one who
gender
mentioned
journey?
it. I didn't even know.
Well, now you know.
Okay, so now I know. I'm just asking you what that means.
Like, do you really want to discuss this?
You raised the subject of yourself being trans. I'm simply asking
Can
what
I
does
finish
that...
my point?
No, wait
It's
one
always a
second. Wait
non-binary
one second.
person
It's actually really
speaking over a
interesting.
transsexual.
It's really interesting to me. You raised it, not me. I didn't even know. So now you've raised it. What does that actually mean? What do you mean you're non-binary?
Are you really, really just going to?
Can you explain
Are
it?
you going to cut Blair off now?
I'm just asking you to explain it. I'll come back to Blair in a moment.
Well, you were the one that cut me off, sis. But I will say that.
Hang on one second, Blair.
Blair.
Sorry, Blair, wait 1 second. I just want to ask, what do you mean by non-binary?
When I say I'm non-binary, I'm expressing my identity in a way that
Well, what
I
does
have a
that
right
mean?
to do. I'm sorry.
What's your sexuality?
My sexuality. This doesn't have to have anything to do with my
Actually, the
sexuality.
UK government now says that people are male or female. The British Prime Minister says people are male or female.
I don't think the UK government should have the final say on how I express
Well, they
myself
determine the
and
laws of
how
the
I'm
country.
treated.
I'm just curious what you mean by non-binary. What does that mean?
I'm curious. Firstly,
What are your pronouns?
they, them.
What does that mean? There's only one of you.
What does they, them? Actually, they, them has been, the collective they has been used to refer to individual people for centuries and still is. So, I mean, if you don't understand basic grammar, that's on you.
I don't really
think you
understand.
do.
I don't understand. I've got to be honest with you. I don't understand the concept of what non-binary means, or why you would
Neither
use
do
a,
I, and
or
I'm
why you would
trans,
use a
neither do
plural
I.
pronoun to describe a singular person. That makes sense. To me, this is the problem with the whole woke thing. Is that it's inexplicable. Nobody really knows what it means. I don't know what you mean by non-binary they, them. There's one of you sitting here, and you look to me female. You're a female?
Okay.
Are you a female?
If you don't understand what non-binary means.
Are you a female?
If you don't understand what non-binary means.
I don't.
Then I'm not sure you're in a position to lead a debate.
So just tell me.
Tell me.
But if you can't
I'm just asking you.
explain it in simple language, then
what is it?
What's the point?
Well, explain what
I can tell you
non-binary is.
exactly what
It
being a
means that my gender
transsexual is.
identity is something other than man or woman. I'm
But
a
you accept
non-binary
you're-
individual.
But you accept you're a female.
I don't think that I'm here to discuss the contents of my
You
underpants.
raised
I don't think
this
that's
whole
appropriate.
thing. I didn't mention
No, I
anything
didn't.
about what you were. You did. You said I'm trans.
This has really become uncomfortably personal.
Has it? You
Yes,
said
it
it, not
has.
me.
Yo, what the hell is
Well,
that?
Blair's a trans woman. Why don't we let her answer?
I'm also.
What the hell is that?
Yo,
God,
that was
did
crazy.
anybody understand that conversation at all? Like, what is going on?
Yo, I'm
Garfield.
over here like, what is they? They
Garfield.
always was more than one. So how can
What's up,
they
what's up,
refer to one person?
What's up, Mika?
Yeah, I think people be trying to push their mental illness on other people. Cause I never understand, and they talk about woke. They trying to take black woke and white woke is not the same kind of woke.
Yo, this shit is crazy, man.
Yeah.
So
A
she's
white
not a woman. Oh, I'm non-binary. So she's trying to say she's not a man or a woman. Go ahead, Cedric. Help us out, Cedric. Help us
Crazy,
out.
crazy. The Lulu. Let me use the Gen Z terminology. That chick is completely the Lulu.
Oh man, bruh.
I agree.
I mean, listen to the conversation.
I was listening to a time I did a press release for the morning show was doing, and I'm reading the article, and everyone in the audience is confused because I'm reading about a transsexual male, so it's a man who thinks he's a woman, but he identifies himself in the plural, so he's non-binary. So I was speaking about a person, but referring to they as it is written in the article. You know how confusing that is? Just vocabulary wise. And this is what they do. It has absolutely no meaning. Gender is fluid and sex is, but listen, I mean, yeah, go ahead. The whole thing is, why am I required to share in your delusion, though?
Thank you.
If I am watching you as a singular individual, there is no way in my basic vocabulary, which I've practiced for 52 years now, is a singular person or them.
Yeah, and
So now, Whatever's going on in your head is fine, but how do I have to acquiesce to that? When I see you, I see a female. Therefore, the general assumption that is required for me to make is you're a woman. You can. I don't understand this whole gender thing. I mean, roles that people execute are just roles. Men and women cook. Men and women wash clothes. Men and women can be nurses. What is this gender thing? I don't get it.
Yeah, the only thing that make you a man is your private area or
exactly. Exactly. That's it.
Everything is the man. How you get a male role? I mean, everybody. That's just.
I don't know what I would bring that up, but let me ask you this: since you're here, Cedric, why is Ankh one of the greatest entertaining, scholastic persons ever in the history of this community? I think what he did with Jabari, this small little clip of 20 seconds, is one of the most brilliant things I've ever seen in my life done on Sonetta. I'm going to play the clip, and I want to hear your response to this right here.
It might be back and forth. That's my job, Jabari. So, yeah, keep going, and I'm going to ask you again. Did you answer the mummy? Did you say the mummy talked to the mummy? What? Did you say the mummy talked to you? I already answered that question. I'm not going into that now. But I want to respond to it might be back and forth. That's my job, Jabari. So, yeah, keep going, and I'm going to ask you again. Did you answer the mummy? Did you say the mummy talked to the mummy? What? Did you say the mummy talked to you? I already answered that question. I'm not going into that now. But I want to respond to it. It might be back and forth.
Ankh is the GOAT. There is nobody I would listen to in this community. If I had to choose one person, it's Ankh West. I ain't listen to nobody else.
Let me tell you something.
That was surgical. Straight to the point, and
it was beautiful. His Ankh has developed over the years. We've seen Ankh crash out, especially me and Sabia, for example. We still can't handle it. The disingenuousness when you're flim-flamming, when you're straw-manning, when you're lying, we lose our cool, right? And then the conversation goes.
No cap. You right, said. What up with it, dog?
That's it. I'm good, Sabia. You my brother, boy. We are brothers in arms with that one. And Ankh used to be there. But he's realized and developed the discipline to just do what he does, bro. He stays in the pocket now. He keeps his composure, and he just keeps a foot on the neck. Because for Jabari to tell us after us playing that clip over and over that he did not say he was speaking to the mummy. I was speaking, Sonetta, you got to hear this. You got to hear this, Sonetta. I was speaking to the audience, and I thought I heard Anika's voice from behind me. So I turned around and I looked, and Anika was talking to another group of people over there. And I actually heard the mummy say to me, Jabari, you have been telling my people about me. Keep up the great work.
He knew Jabari's name.
She knew Jabari's name, and she spoke to him in English. He needed Sonetta to hear this because he was touched by the spirit of the ancestors.
Oh, man.
Now Jabari is claiming he never said that.
No, hold on it. Trading off who hates on Jabari more is crazy, B. No. If you are in support of Jabari and you love him so much that you're unwilling to correct him, you are now a part of the cult movement. No. I don't need you in my life.
No, look at this. Jabari came on Sonetta and dismantled Ankh. I was in the chat giving Jabari his props. Listen, it is nothing personal. When you're wrong, you're wrong. When you're right, you're right. We beat each other up all the time. Cedric, you're wrong. That's some nonsense. So much time you beat me up on historical Jesus. You hear me?
Yep.
Remember in the back chats I posted this and I sent this, and you beat the hell out of me, and I had to submit. Then you submit, right? Because you acknowledge you're wrong. We don't pretend and gloss things over for each other. We beat each other up, so we reserve the right to beat up anybody that is in error. right? Yes, and Jabari is a spiritual person. So these are the type of claims a spiritual person would make. As an atheist or as somebody that seeks validation, and you talk about a spirit, you would need to quantify that for me. So it's something that I am going to punctuate and talk about every time, because I think that's part of the whole flim-flam. Which spirit? Where? How? Which ancestors? Say what? How? When?
Mm-hmm.
You're entertaining with what evidence you're entertaining dualism?
We need what's called material evidence. That's what we need. We need material evidence. If it's just like the claim with the Jews in West Africa. Listen, they got a map that says the land of the Jews. So what?
Okay.
Yeah, what the person wrote on the map, come to find out, it's probably connected to the same Idrisi comment about Lam being the Jews. But when the people are putting masks on their face and doing all type of African stuff, why they call Jews? Come to find out, the word Jew is similar to the word Al Sudan, and it could have been a copyist error. So the whole time we argued for the last 20 years about Jews in West Africa, it could have been a damn copyist error the whole time. There's no Jews,
I don't understand this.
There's no gravesite, there's no Hebrew writings, there's no synagogues, there's nothing in West and Central Africa. But we run around and say, hey, it's there.
Last night, Pastor Bennett on Sanetta doing his preaching and making an appeal to emotion and say he has a source, right, that proves that the Europeans were using the Bible wrong and that the Africans in America, right, was using the true biblical version. What is his evidence? Pastor Bennett, what is his evidence? He pulled up a book where a historian wrote that piece of text. Now, if you read that in a piece of text, does that make it true? Like the poor level of scholarship, the poor reasoning of these people is amazing.
Let me show the audience something real quickly, right?
I'm like, how do you reason? Fred Douglass said this, and this one said this about the Bible. Okay, so now that makes it automatically true. So when we go to the text and we examine the slavery elements in it, the justification that the Roman Church used, which was biblical for the enslavement of other people, that's not relevant.
You know what?
They were practicing it wrong.
You know what that stems from? That stems from the Christianity is the white man's religion. That's where it stems from. Let me just say this to everybody. When you're going to make a claim of Jews, let me just give a quick example of Jews in West Africa, right? You need something that's material culture. You need evidence. You need synagogues. You need temples. You need Hebrew inscriptions. You need burials because you know the Jews bury themselves different ways. You need other type of things. What about the 4-room houses that they claim is an Israelite culture? Why didn't they bring that to the West and Central Africa? You need material culture, but you also need evidence. Why would somebody put on a map that Jews are there, but we can't find them? Why we have this guy with the letters of medieval Jewish traders, and they have nobody in West and Central Africa? Why do we have the Catalan Atlas by the Cresque family, where they show everybody 1375 of the Common Era, where they're showing all the Jewish communities in the world, but they don't find none in Sub-Saharan Africa? Why is that? Why we can't find it in the material culture? Why? Why is it only after 1492 or even after 1400 when we look in the Atlantic islands in Sao Tome or Cape Verde where they're migrating or they're forcefully put in these areas and Africans are intermingling with them? Why is it before that time period we don't find any Jews actually in West and Central Africa building a community? You see, that's the key, a community. Because when somebody say Lam is for the Jews and there's a community, where is the evidence? So they was there and nobody knows? The writers, Al-Baka is writing in the 11th century. He don't write it. Then the writers after him is saying it's there, but we don't have any material evidence. You got to put 2 and 2 together and build a case. Brick and mortar, you got to build it. So just because you see the word Jew, your skin catch a fire, but you need to figure out what's going on. Jews were just simply not in West and Central Africa. Did they trade? Did Berber Jews come there? Yes. Did they go to Timbuktu? Yes. But you're talking before 1400, 1492. We're not seeing it there. And we have to have a standard of scholarship. It's just like my Pastor Bennett. I wasn't there to hear him say it. But if what Cedric is saying is true, we need material evidence to back it up. You need the material evidence. You need the writing. You need inscriptions. You need something. All we're seeing is that, and then on top of it, we've seen a culture that's Abrahamic, because Muslims, they keep forgetting Muslim is an Arabic Abrahamic faith. So you're gonna see similarities in the Western and Central African culture because of Islam.
Let me ask you this question, Gabi. Let me ask you this question. Can any particular group of people claim to be the true practitioners of Christianity?
No.
Repeat the question. Repeat the question.
Can any particular group make a claim as to be the true practitioners of Christianity? Or is that a simple no true Scotsman fallacy?
No, you know what? Anybody can say it, but anybody can make the claim, but that don't make it true.
Exactly. That's my point. So anytime you point out a particular entity or group using or practicing Christianity and the consequences thereof, you get the no true Scotsman fallacy. That is exactly what Pastor Bennett was attempting to do, making the claim by means of narratives from Frederick Douglass and this one, this and that the Europeans weren't practicing true Christianity, but the African or the African American, the black so-called churches, they were actually practicing true Christianity. Now, that is a true Scotsman fallacy claim, and there's no way you can support that with any evidence. Like because someone said it in a book makes it true, makes it valid. Like, how do you reason, bro?
Need material evidence. That's you see, it's easy to say something. Somebody could easily make a claim. Like you if you read the Arabic sources, you could clearly see this trans-Saharan slave trade is being practiced. They're grabbing people in what's called lam, which is black people, and trading them to North Africa and sending them to Yemen. So we clearly see that throughout the Arabic corpus, but people don't realize that's what the corpus is about. They're grabbing people in it's called the trans-Saharan slave trade for a reason. They were exchanging slaves, giving up bodies. They're trading gold for stuff that we need to survive in Africa. One of them was salt and different things. So that's what the trade was about. So when you said the people are being traded, they're traded to North Africa and sent to Yemen and different areas in Arabia. So that's what the trans-Saharan slave trade was doing. And there was a connection also with Europe. But for us to play this game I'm like, yeah, man, they're doing this and X, Y, and Z. We're making a fool of ourselves every time that we do that. So we got to be careful whenever we get a source. We got to fact check the source and make sure the source is saying exactly as we're saying and stop playing around. We got to stop playing that game. If anybody wants to add.
I just wanted to add the irony of us as a people not understanding the age of discovery, the doctrine of discovery, the role that the Catholic Church played in disseminating this idea of Christianity, the consequences for the rest of the world, right? And the consequences that led us into bondage. The fact that we in 2025 are embracing this ideology is beyond me, bro. It's like if you want to have a concept of something outside of nature that is influencing nature, right? If your incredulity is to the point that you simply can't grasp how this can exist by means of the four fundamental forces.
Hold on, one second, Cedric. Morpheus, you got to jump on the panel and explain to me what happened with Dusa York. Dusa. He's not really related to Dr. York, but I don't know if something happened to him. You'd have to explain that to me, my brother. I don't know what's going on with Dusa York. One thing, I'm going to move on because I'm going to end the show in a couple of minutes. I have to play this before I get out of here. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut y'all off, but I didn't know Umar had made a claim to
OnlyFans?
UFOs. I didn't know he is one of them that made that claim. My brother from the UK sent me this and asked me if it's real.
You got on the funny hat. What do you expect? Always look for the hat. You know a pseudo by the hat.
Hold on.
Are aliens real? Yes, aliens are real. because the alien visited me in Jacksonville, North Carolina. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida right now, but I used to live in Jacksonville, North Carolina. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida right now, but I used to live in Jacksonville, North Carolina. And when I was in the 3rd grade in Jacksonville, North Carolina, 9 years old, 8 years old, me and my mother were looking out the window and we saw a UFO. We said, "Is that a UFO?" I said, "Now that might be a plane. Maybe that's the military expedition, military air." It was a UFO. So we watching this UFO. It kept swirling around. So it was way up in the sky though, but it had all these lights and it was going in a circle. And my mom said, "Okay, it's time for you to go to bed." So I go to bed, but I'm not asleep. You know how you laying down in your bed before you fall asleep? Jacksonville, North Carolina. And the next thing you know, this yellow thing walked into my room. It was about 3 feet tall, shaped like a man, but no features. No, it was just pure yellow light, shaped like a man with no features, pure yellow light. And I'm scared as shit. I want to call my mom or my dad, but I'm scared because we just saw a UFO like 2 hours ago. And this little yellow man, stocky too, he was built like he was a bodybuilder, but all you could see was yellow light in the shape of a man, no eyes, no nose, no mouth, pure yellow. And I'm acting like I'm asleep.
I'm gonna
I
tell
don't
y'all
want
a
him to know
secret,
I'm woke.
right? I've
And then-
never heard a story about a yellow alien. This is original. It's always green. You never hear a story about a yellow alien. Umar,
And all of a sudden,
you're good.
it ran up to me and punched me in my face. I just knew I had a black eye or a broke nose. I just knew I had a black eye or a broke nose.
This nigga be lying.
I just knew I had a black eye or a broke nose,
same
and it ran out the room. And I got up and ran into my parents' room, and I said, "I just got punched in the face by an alien." They said, "Boy, go to bed." I said, "Umi, we just saw that spaceship. It was real." Because right after you sent me to bed, this little yellow man with no face, made of pure yellow light, came into my room, punched me in the damn face. It felt like I had a broke nose, but I didn't.
So he claiming a Chinese was in his room and punched him?
Oh man, bruh. You can't even make this shit up, man. I yield Ben Isaac. What's up? What's on your mind, my brother? Yeah, man. The yellow aliens, man. Come on. Are you one of the yellow aliens, brother?
Oh, he's got good. No. Not of any alien nature.
What's on your mind?
Yeah, peace, Garfield. Don't sound to speak. Peace from Britain to the rest of the panel. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioning the Arab slave trade, because one thing I realized is a lot of people don't speak about it, and one thing that is really starting to really get me mad, Garfield, is as you've been here in Britain, you probably and as you got family here in Britain, I'll probably noticed within the last 15 years or possibly 20 years that there's a lot of black men convert to Islam, fully knowing about this the Arab slave trade, and it really annoys me that put it this way, it kind of gravitates towards proving Ye right when Ye says slavery was a choice, because when you look at black men that convert to Islam, it makes you think, why, you guys know about the Arab slave trade. Why are you converting to Islam? I understand Muhammad was was born 600 years after the Arab slave trade started, so isn't anything to do with Islam. But
Hold on. Before you move on, we can't. All right. Remember the Sangha Empire. You have the Mali Empire. You have the Ghana Empire, Ouagadougou, right? That area, of course, Islam came in around the 11th century. I don't think we can blame Africans in West and Central Africa on a whole because of what an empire did. And Islam, the way how it came in a way that allowed them to convert. And then remember Timbuktu, and as far as the manuscripts, the book trade was very important. So Islam created money, created employment, created a bigger slave network, and it made kings feel more powerful as kings. and made the lower level people in the culture feel less than they were. So there's a balance. You got to look at it. So although we say capitalism is of the Western world, the capitalism mindset has always been in existence, where the rich get richer or the more privileged get more privileges and the less privileged get treated like shit. So there's always wars. There's always wars and captives of war and prisoners of wars throughout the tradition of history in mankind. So I wouldn't say they took on Islam knowing that X, Y, and Z, because Islam was a part of the biggest empire in the region, which is Ouagadougou. So I wouldn't, and then the Songhai and then the Mali Empire. So I wouldn't, and then Mansa Musa. I mean, they had too much tradition as far as that is concerned. I wouldn't put that on them. I definitely wouldn't put that on them. I wouldn't.
Okay, I mean, when it comes to that, that those guys converting to Islam, I mean, I'm not really sure what to say about those guys, but in this day and age, that knowing there's that example, there could be a
look at Mansa Musa. Do you look at him as a Muslim or as an African?
I look at him as an African.
Right, but he was a disgraceful African.
Yeah. I heard he was a slave trader as well.
Would you put that on Islam? I wouldn't put that on Islam. I wouldn't put that.
No, I'll just put that on him. Just being an African man who just done a few wrong things.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I understand. Listen, bro. I mean, I understand the whole premise of Islam and what it has done. Nobody, Sabio is on the panel. Nobody goes against Islam more than Sabio. And we not, Islam on a whole has done some horrible things, but it stabilized the region, because when you have one religion, this is what religion does though. Religion make you more stable because you know what the people who under the religion will do. So Islam, whether it's Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, those religions are put in place to do just what they're doing, have more control over the masses of the way they think. You have over 4 billion people who are following Christianity. You have another billion who is following Islam, and you have about 700,000 that's following Judaism. They control the Abrahamic faith, runs the majority of the world religions. You have what, 7 billion people or 8 billion people, and more than half of them is following the Abrahamic faith. So they have done their jobs. I think Africa will never be the same because of the religions that we follow. It will never go back to, there's no utopic type of atmosphere for Africa at all. There's none. This is why we cling on to Egypt, because Egypt was the most successful culture as far as we know it. But Egypt got beat up too. Egypt is Arab. That's the epitome or the apex of black culture. Well, we in for a long ride, buddy. We in for a long ride. So, I mean, we in the minority can speak our minds, but right now the Abrahamic faith is running shit, whether we agree with it or not.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, as for that Egypt and things of that nature, yeah, I mean, it's a shame what's happened now, because Sudan was part of Egypt. You help. So what's happening in Sudan right now or for the last 100 years, it's been terrible. But yeah, it just really annoys me that a lot of brothers here are converting to Islam in high numbers, and they know about the slave trade, the Arab slave trade. It really annoys me. And
let me ask you this. Let me cut you and ask you this. All right, me and you right now is 2025. You have internet. I have internet. We have Google. You have Google. We have AI. You have AI. I have AI. All these things that we have at our fingertips that we could use to get knowledge and do what we do. Picture this though. In the 600 AD, they didn't have none of this. They was barely traveling by camels. So the people who are documenting the history were more sympathetic towards the Abrahamic faith. So this is why the Jews are so well documented in Africa. They're so well documented all over the world, because there are some of the people that's actually documenting the history. But if the Africans, say for example, I'm in Congo, I don't think the people in Congo knows exactly what's going on in Ouagadougou. I don't think the people in Ouagadougou knows exactly what's going on in Nigeria. I don't think the people in Cameroon, what modern day Cameroon, knows exactly what's going on in Benin. You understand? So it's not like how we have it today. So when we're looking at it from playing Monday morning quarterback and looking at it from this angle, you got to look at it from an era of people that's running around and riding camels and feeding each other by hunting and doing different things within their culture.
Interpreting what the brother is saying. He's referencing exactly that point. With all the information that we have today, he's watching mass numbers of black men in England convert to Islam. And that's what's frustrating. And I can understand his frustration. Like that, it was the same point I was making with regards to Christianity. Don't y'all know the history of this thing, how it became part of your lexicon? Why are you?
I can't agree with that. I can't agree with that because everybody's at a stage. Remember this. I'm 9 years old. I go to my church, Calvary Gospel Assembly. I become a Christian. I get baptized. I did it because the girl that I like actually was getting baptized at the same time. So I'm like, let me get this, man. I'm gonna get closer to her. But at the end of the day, grew up in a Christian household, father and mother Christian, send me to Sunday school every Sunday, come back home by 4 o'clock. Used to hate it. But at the end of the day, that's what I grew up in, the culture that I grew up in. Now, when I came to America, I dabbled with a little Rastafarianism before I got to America. But America, I was introduced in college to the NOI with my best friend, Kirk Campbell. So I felt this was better than Christianity. It's all has to do with growth. I can't tell somebody who want to leave Christianity and go to Islam. Some of them do it because they realize Christianity is a quote unquote not the religion for them. So they move to another religion because they have that belief in a God. They believe that they have to run around and believe in a God that a man made up. Some people is not on my level, your level, my brother's level, Mika's level. They are where they are. So we have to accept them in where they are in their growth because there's different stages to it. It's like me and you running around. You ever heard a baby crying Spanish, or does a baby suck on a mother's breast if he's a Spanish baby or an Italian baby? All babies do the same thing. Every baby is gonna suck on that nipple if they get the chance to and bite the hell out of that nipple. It doesn't matter what culture they're from. That's universal. But same thing with the Bible and with the God. Most cultures in the Western world are attached to these Abrahamic faith. So when you leave one, you think, hey, you know what? This one is not bad, but this one's a little better. So you'd start defending Islam. It's like in Jamaica, I'm hearing about the guy, Sprague Ben, talking about how we are Moors and all that. So, and my mother was a history teacher. She never taught me about Moors. I never heard about Moors until I came to America. Never heard about Moors. Nothing at all in my history classes taught me about Moors. It wasn't relevant. It's about the Arawaks. It's about civilizations, about how great it was before slavery and after slavery. We never heard. I never heard about no Moors in high school. All of a sudden, now Jamaicans are Moors. It's crazy. So I'm just saying that if some people are where they are, you got to meet them where they are. You ever been to school in the Caribbean and you have your 4th grade teacher, and your 4th grade teacher never said to your 3rd grade teacher, hey, what your 3rd grade teacher teach was crap. No, they are adding on to what the 3rd grade teacher to get you to that level to go to grade 5. So it's the same thing with religion. You might be at Christianity, then you go to Islam, then you go to Kemetic, then you go to something else. You start talking about Rastafarianism. Then by stage 5 you reach something else. Then stage 6 you're agnostic. 7, 8.
Watch this. Watch this. You open the book, you read it, you understand, but this don't make no sense though. What? No, you close it. And if you open the Muslim book and you see, wait, the moon split, what? And, oh no, you close it and you say, wait a minute, leave this nonsense alone. Time to grow up. How much Harry Potter books you need to read before you realize it's all fantasy? I don't, at this point, I don't do the baby steps no more with people. No, grow up. Which guy? Oh, what? Because it's in a book? Let's sit down. Let's have a conversation. Close the book. Let's talk. My 7-year-old daughter right now, based on a conversation we had when she was 5 years old, the first time they start with this God thing with her, I asked a simple question. I say, hey, got sweets in the corner there. Now they put some sweets in the corner there, but you can't see them. Go get the sweets though. You can't see them. Believe the sweets there though. Go, take it. He watched me like I was crazy. Okay, oh no, tell me about God again. 5 years old. Now she's 7. She telling them, listen, you ain't got no evidence. You can't show me it. Leave me alone. 7 years old. And we don't need to do the whole hold the hand thing, and you need to go through all the thoughts. Man, grow up. A plus B is C.
Not everybody's the same, bro.
My 7-year-old daughter. My 7-year-old daughter. Tell him plain simple. What's it?
Not everybody's the same. But by the way, to the brother that brought up what I put on the screen, I think that was when the Egyptians made a deal with the Arabs to enslave the Black Nubians. So all these pro-Egypt people, why are Egyptians aligning with Arabs to enslave Nubians? You know, they always forget about that part with the Arabs when the Arabs went into Egypt, or the Egyptians sold out Africans to the Arabs. They forget that part.
The Egyptians were Africans as well, and so the Africans sold out Africans. That was just business, right? I do not engage with slavery in terms of anything other than the modus operandi of the time. Human capital. That was force. That was labor. You don't have technology of the time. You didn't have industry. So every culture traded in human capital, right? So I don't put it outside on no singular group, no singular entity at any point in time in history. So I don't do the us against them thing, or this particular group were engaged in that. I don't do the romanticism. All people engage in slavery. You were either at one point in time either enslaver or being enslaved. That's just the way the cookie crumbled, because human capital was what was needed to move market. That's it. Right? You wasn't trading in John Deere and Caterpillars to get your land tilled. Just a simple fact of history. So I don't engage in that whole emotional discussion. We know in West Africa there was a well-established slave courts. I mean, you didn't have jails and these type of things. That was just the way of the world, right? But I won't single out the Egyptians and say this whole Nubians, because that feeds into the narrative as if they weren't Africans.
Yeah, that's true. But you know, these Egyptomaniacs love to promote Egypt on a fantasy utopic like they did. I had to put that out there.
It's so true.
They weren't Arabicized yet. They decided to cut a deal with the Arabs. A matter of fact, and join their armies for them to go fight other cultures.
What do you mean? The Arabs would get the groove on. By that point in time, Egypt been invaded, had its own internal conflict. You gonna join with the power boys.
All right, listen, man. Let me get out of here. We've been long. Mika, you have any last word for us, man? Black woman is God, so let's go.
Oh boy.
All day, every day.
No, good show. Enjoyed it. Next Sunday, Man Cave.
I'll get to Dave and Camron. I just think it's just funny, both of them going back and forth, because both of them, remember they was trying to say that he's taking over the rock. When I was listening to Dipset album yesterday, and I remember Jules Santana make a move. Two shots for Cam for taking over the rock. This is our year. So they was mad close, because Jay-Z and them fell out over that Camron group. So to see them falling out now is crazy. But that's people's business, man. That's what people love. But we out of here, man. I want to say thank you guys for joining. Another Man Cave. I'm still sick, but I'll get over this. I'll see y'all later.
Peace, coming.
Let me go watch my pseudo Jets play. New York Jets. My pseudo Jets. Later, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.